is over, so let's head down to the court. Time for the tip-off. Give me fast breaks on the attack. Will you shoot a three or take it to the rack? Basketball is back, Jack. It's a dream shake down in the post, or a killer cross you love the most. When the offense tries to run and gun, is it man-to-man or box and one? It's big plays and talking smack. That's how you know that basketball is back, Jack. Let me hear you say, basketball, basketball, basketball. Basketball is back, Jack. 360 dunks and pick and rolls. And we're gonna watch it every day till they raise the Larry O. Hard fouls and hook shots. A dagger three and hack a shack. If you say this game's the best, I'll say's a gag. Basketball is back, Jack. Basketball is back, Jack. Basketball is back. Basketball is back, Jack.
Just when I'm like about ready to really sink my teeth into this Heat team and start to believe that they can do something and even fake excitement about it. You know, you've won 3 in a row. You're going into Milwaukee, and I get it. Milwaukee's had a good February. Whatever. You're going into Milwaukee. You got a chance here to beef up the record a little bit. And then you have that stinker of a fourth quarter last night, and I'm just reminded how completely average this team is. That was frustrating last night.
Right.
Go to Milwaukee. Beat the stupid Bucks. Get me a little bit excited here, you know? And you get that kind of performance, and I can't get wrapped up in it.
Yeah, disappointing loss for sure. Definitely disappointing. They couldn't get any stops on the defensive end. Kind of from the beginning of the game. Like, they just really weren't as physical as they usually are defensively.
I mean, were we up 12 at the beginning of the fourth, early
They
fourth?
got up 8. They got up 8 at the beginning of the fourth quarter, and then it was back-to-back threes in the span of about 15 seconds that forced a timeout. And the frustrating part down the stretch was, like, not only could the Heat not get a field goal, they were getting to the line, but they just could not stop Milwaukee. And that wasn't even a product of personnel. It was their starters on the floor. Milwaukee just kept spamming the same play over and over again. They got hot, and the Heat couldn't make threes, didn't make their free throws. They were up 2 with, I think, like 2 minutes left, and Andrew Wiggins missed 2 free throws, and they couldn't close it out. And it was a really disappointing loss because you want to continue that momentum. Like, if you have to pick a win this week between Milwaukee and Philly, it's obviously Philly because that's the team you're chasing, but you want to continue what was happening if you're going to try to get yourself excited about a run.
Didn't you say earlier this week, don't let them win 2
I
this
did,
week?
because I said I would be insufferable. I didn't say they were going to do anything.
So, are we don't let them win 1 now?
We're good. No, we're good.
No, we're good. I won't be insufferable.
He won't be insufferable.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, congratulations.
Jeremy,
you should actually be celebrating.
Jeremy, when you say that they couldn't stop anybody in Milwaukee, remember, Giannis is not playing. They couldn't stop Kevin Porter Jr. They couldn't stop Ryan Rollins. They couldn't stop Bobby Portis.
That Ryan Rollins, man.
Good player.
Good player.
And they couldn't stop Kyle Kuzma. Those are the guys that we're talking about.
Kyle
Miami Heat
Kuzma!
couldn't stop.
He was hot to start the game. No, I mean,
He's
look,
always hot.
The two of them between Rollins and Kevin Porter Jr. were both really, really good last night. But it was more the defensive scheme. Like, they just didn't – the Heat did not play well. They didn't hit threes. They turned the ball over a lot. They played poorly defensively, and they lost the game to a team that's now won 7 of their last 9 and is.
I don't want to hear about the Bucks
That's
playing well.
that's what I
didn't
told
even
him.
finish my
Me
sentence.
and him walked in this morning.
You
He's
didn't
like, the
need to.
Bucks are playing well. I was like, they suck.
Okay, but
team sucks.
Okay, but they are playing well. Like,
I mean, does that team suck?
That team sucks.
yeah,
Come on.
but they're playing well, and it's a matter of where you meet teams at what time. You go on the road, you lose to a team. It's not a good loss.
Dave, you know about that team
I
sucking?
didn't try to say it was a good loss.
Bucks suck.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
knows. Dave knows about that.
No, I get it. All I was trying to finish the sentence was saying they're playing well enough to maybe get that 10 seed and let Giannis have an opportunity to get to the play-in, which would be kind of fun.
I think we learned something from yesterday to today. Greg Cody showed up still with the goatee, basically accepting the praise of Sid, our guest yesterday. Zaz goes against the man in the mirror by wearing a hat. I thought you just declared yesterday that when you're in the king's chair,
The throne,
that you treat it with respect.
Yes,
Well,
what happened?
And act like Kingpin. Show up bald.
Maybe I didn't like everyone laughing at me. All right. Is that so bad?
King Kong
To
Bundy.
be a little self-conscious.
And maybe I didn't realize that Sid was being facetious when he was complimenting my goatee.
He
I don't
wasn't.
know.
I don't think he was.
No, that's a good
He's a
goatee.
good look.
15 years younger, Greg.
I know, but
That part's a little bit facetious. 15 years younger. Like, what's he trying to tell
well,
you
he
there?
said 18. No, when I listen to it back, which I do all the time.
You listen
You
to it
listen
back?
to
really?
it back.
Jack.
I listen to it back.
Jack!
Ask him how many
Yeah,
times
sorry.
he listens to his own podcast throughout the week.
And
the Greg Cody show?
you listen to your podcast back as well?
I listen to it twice every week.
Why?
Through different ears, Dad, talk it.
Okay,
Why?
I'm going to tell you why. I listen to it. First of all, I listen on 1.5, so I listen
Okay.
quickly. I listened to it back the first time.
I've never done that, by the way, with anything I listen to. People say they
Oh,
do
you
that,
got to.
and then it's a great little
You
tip.
should.
1.5?
Yeah.
I do advocate for listening back to yourself periodically and with some distance. Don't do it immediately after
the
you
1.5.
finish the show.
I'm a big 1.5
Only way
guy.
to do it, yeah. Gotta
Wow.
go through it quick.
No, the reason is the first time I listened to it back, I try to listen as a listener. Like I don't listen to it critically. I'm like, okay, what is the listener hearing? Is he enjoying it? Is it funny? Is it good?
And do you do this right after right after it comes out?
Yeah, generally. It comes out every Monday. I generally hear it Monday. And then the next day, I listen to it critically. Like, what did we miss? What should we have
With a
done?
critical ear.
Yeah, and that's what I do. And then the third time, I listen to the YouTube version.
The third
or I watch
time?
the YouTube version.
Now, Greg, I'm with you on this 100%. I will listen to Cinephobe every time it drops. Now, the difference is our episodes drop like weeks after we recorded it. So everything is kind of on a delay. So I do have some distance, but I will listen, and I listen at one-time speed because I want to know.
Are you as a listener or are you as a producer?
A little bit of both. Like
You could kill two birds there. I don't know why my dad does them two different listens.
It's a mindset.
So because I have some distance, though, it's easier to do that because when I'm listening, it's like I don't even remember what we were talking about. So I'm laughing, and sometimes I'll be in a sense where like, oh, man, this setup, man, I should have just come in with a slam dunk right here and said this, and then I'll say it on the pod. I'm like, oh, my God, same note, too, to myself from 3 weeks ago. It's a great feeling to know that I'm consistent like that.
Yes.
Now, the watching of the YouTube, that one might be a little much. That
A little
might be
vain.
overkill.
A little vain? Yeah?
You think so?
Will Vane.
Little vain.
Yeah.
He's just trying to get the
I
numbies
guess
up.
I guess the bottom line is, do you like what you're hearing, Greg Cody? When you do your critical, well,
Like.
which is your favorite? Is it when you listen as a listener, as you just described,
Right.
and then you give it your critical ear?
Yeah.
What does the critical ear detect that improves the show?
I'll give you an example from the current episode where we're live at Gulfstream Park watching my horse run for the first time. And the critical ear was like, wow, all I hear is the wind. It was windy, and the mic was picking
The
up a
sound
lot of-
team didn't do a good
So
job.
in hindsight, you would have said, hey, wind, cut it off.
Yeah, exactly.
How'd the horse do, Greg?
Not good.
That well?
No.
You know, it could have, middle of the pack would have finished.
Last. Dead last.
So what happens now? You put it down? What happens?
Yeah.
Glue factory.
Yeah.
Really?
No.
You gotta have a bad day?
He put it in his own bed, the head of the horse.
Wow.
in his own bed.
The episode ends with him putting it down.
Well, the problem was we learned after the fact that there was a physical
It's a
excuse
shocking
for the
ending.
horse. So
I like that we call it destroying the horse. I don't know if that helps, if it makes it feel more humane to us.
To destroy it?
We destroyed the horse. I mean,
not
like
humane. That's-
Who says that?
You know,
that's
that
what
is
they
the
say
terminology. Yeah.
when a
Really?
thoroughbred
Yeah.
gets put down
He had to
on
be
the
destroyed.
track, they say we destroyed the horse.
Yeah.
They don't say put down?
No, he had to be destroyed.
or
Only
eu-
dogs
or-
get put down?
or euthanized.
We say destroyed. it
None
makes
of
me
that
think-
sounds good.
Makes me think it's an object. It's not a. It's not
Well,
a.
I think that's what we're
It's
supposed
like I got
to
shot
do.
by a
You know,
laser
I think that is what it is to a lot of these people.
like the Death Star.
Like the
came
Death
up-
Star got him. Was like, bing, we destroyed the horse.
That's
What
the
happened
pro-
to the horse?
The
Destroyed.
problem
by
with
the Empire.
racehorses is they're very fragile. They're extremely fragile, more so than human athletes.
Well, whose fault was it that it came in last?
It had only run one race it's a filly, in her career, and not for 10 months. So although she'd been training with Bill Mott, a Kentucky Derby winning
So
trainer.
this Bill guy didn't do. He
Bill
didn't hold up
Mott
his-
thought she was ready, and apparently she wasn't, but she needed to run. She needed the practice, so to speak.
So what's the outlook?
She hit the gate. Coming out of the gate, she immediately crashed into the gate, and
That's no good.
It was a disaster from the jump. Like, it wasn't like there was hope, and
Oh,
if she
no.
faded, it was like last place the entire time.
Now-
2020
now I'm on board.
hindsight, 2020 hindsight, but you should not have had Chris as jockey. I think that would be the first change I would
Imagine.
make.
Do you know how to ride a horse?
I've ridden a horse.
Does anyone here know how to ride a horse?
What's so hard? You
I'm
just get
soaring
on
off
and-
horses.
You get. Oh yeah, Tony almost died. I
I almost
forgot
died
that
in a
story.
horse in Dominican Republic. Yeah.
What?
El Diablo.
You guys don't remember this story? This is a great story.
Was
Tony.
it your
Tell
honeymoon?
No, it was not my honeymoon. I was like 12 years old, 13 years old, and we go to Dominican Republic. We used to go every single year to Punta Cana. And one of the times my parents were like, hey, let's go horseback riding in the mountains. And we were like, all right, cool. I'm 13. I don't know, whatever. So we get to this this ranch up in the mountains, and they've got a couple horses. And obviously I'm a big kid. Like, I've always been a big kid my whole life.
Even at 13.
Even at 13. So they kind of look at me and they're like, we can't put him on a smaller horse. We got to put him on kind of a bigger horse. And they look over and they're like, we're going to put you on that one over there. That one had its own pen, so it's by itself. The other horses are in the other.
It's got like
you
the
know,
Hannibal Lecter mask.
yeah, kind of. Had like a leather thing on it with the blinders. And I was like, okay, whatever, pull it up. So we start going down this grove of maybe a mile long of grove until it goes to like this cliff. And then you go down the cliff and you go into the beach. So the cliff, imagine a row of a mile long of just palm trees on each side with just like mangroves. And then we're going down. So we're all in a line together, maybe 15 horses. We're going down, Dominican guy in the front leading the pack, and everybody else, all the tourists in the back. So one of the families that we were with, the husband was like, hey, can I go and like run my horse a little bit? I ride horses, like, can I go do it? The guy's like, yeah, for sure, go do it. So the horse gets out of line, and he starts going. And my horse sees that, like looks through the line and is like, oh, wait a second. It's on now. So he comes out of line. And remember, I'm 13 years old. I've ridden a horse maybe like 3 or 4 times in my life. This horse starts going like we're on the Kentucky Derby. And I'm sitting there, tick-a-tock, and we're getting to the cliff. So the cliff is like half mile away, now a quarter mile away, and this guy is not slowing down. He passes the horse now that originally started running. He's gone, and it's just me and the cliff.
Is anyone on the trail yelling?
Yes,
like,
but they're so
for you
far,
to do something.
They're so far behind that all I can hear is the commotion of yelling,
Yeah.
and not like an actual task.
Your mom
to do.
screaming.
My mom screaming. Everybody's screaming.
Did you consider just bailing?
So this is what I'm thinking. I'm like 13. I'm like, all right, I can see the cliff maybe 100 yards away. I don't know if this horse has a death wish and it's gonna fling me 1,000 feet to my death.
Diablo.
So I have to be like, all right, I might have to jump off this thing. But we're going like 30 miles
Tuck
an
and
hour.
roll,
We
dog.
are flying.
Wow.
And at a certain point, I'm like, all right, I can't do that. That's crazy because all it is like shards of glass and rock and whatever. And I'm like, I'm gonna have
Shards
to,
of glass.
Yeah, because
I
people,
feel
like,
like you've
throw
added
stuff
that
off.
to the story.
That's
I feel like there
awesome.
was some shards of
Have you
glass.
ever been to
Shards
Dominican
of
Republic?
glass just around in the Dominican.
Did you
telling
lie a
you.
little bit there?
No, because listen why.
I believe the rocks part.
There was trash inside the mangroves because I guess locals and stuff.
They drink and they throw the bottles.
Exactly
Come on
right.
now.
Thank you. I'm telling you, there were shards of glass. I remember looking down. There was a
Chris, you throw a bottle, a
At
glass
least say
bottle.
snakes. Like,
But I would be lying if I said snakes. I'm telling the truth that there's shards of glass.
Go on.
The reason why we finally slowed down and I didn't get flung to my death is because of the trash. So the horse starts realizing, oh, wait a second, there's something I can eat here in this trash. So he starts slowing down, and we're like maybe a good 65 yards from the cliff where I would have been flung off. So we start getting into the mangroves, and I'm getting like hit by the mangroves. I'm like, ah! And the horse starts eating stuff in the thing. Come to find out, his name was El Diablo, which means the devil.
Perfect.
So,
So did you have reins to pull?
I
the
had
horse
reins, Greg. I was pulling him.
Okay.
I was pulling him. He was fighting through.
Diablo
Yeah.
answers.
Listen to Greg. He's looking for a new purchase. It sounds
am.
like. Oh,
This I don't know if this horse is still around. He was probably sent to
was
the glue
destroyed.
factory a long time ago.
Yeah, he's probably a little aged by now.
greatest birthday party in the history of my life was Mo Damashek, my mother. I was a big Lone Ranger guy growing up, and when I was 5, she got a horse. I don't know how she did it in Pittsburgh, PA. Got a horse to come over to the house with a trainer. The horse didn't just show
Oh, I
up.
thought maybe she just convinced the horse to
got
come.
the horse
but
come over. Come on,
it
man,
had a human
stop
handler.
by.
A human handler brought a horse to the house, and me and my pals, we got to do a horse ride around the house.
Oh,
it was
cool.
it was the greatest. It was the great. No, it's all been downhill ever since.
No, horses are great.
I don't trust them.
Don't.
So
You shouldn't trust them, but they're wonderful animals.
So I did a poor job yesterday, and I felt bad about this because.
Covering that head.
Oh, okay. You got in your jokes. You good? All right. So I did a poor job yesterday because Greg was in with us yesterday. He's in with us on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and I did not ask. Like everybody knows, I went to Vegas 2 weekends ago. I think we asked me how my trip was, and no one asked Greg how his trip was to Vegas this past. You were in Vegas this past weekend.
I was. We were there at the Sphere, stayed at the Venetian, walked over to the Sphere, saw the Eagles, and
Because you weren't sure who you were going to see at the Sphere originally.
I was not positive.
Yeah.
Nor did I know where we were staying. Love the Venetian. Right up the street from
Venetian's great.
From Harrah's. We walked to Harrah's, and I saw Big Elvis. He's. Do you guys know Big Elvis?
No, what is that?
He's like a
What is he?
450 pound
That's my gimmick.
Elvis impersonator who has a residency at Harrah's.
And he sits and performs. 'Cause
That's
he's
where
so
Dan
large.
is right now?
I was slow catching up to that. Well done, Jeremy.
Like your horse.
Thank you.
And no, we had Big Elvis on our podcast a couple of years ago, so I went up to him, reintroduced myself.
He did
said
not
hi.
remember you.
Yeah, he did. He claimed he did. Oh, there he is. Hey, how you doing, Big?
What? Are you talking to a photo?
I know, I literally am.
Sometimes
But
you got to do that.
Vegas was great. I had heard Dan consistently saying lately that Vegas is going downhill.
I
They're
thought
struggling.
I thought it was well enough attended when I was there.
I did too.
Yeah.
I did too. I mean, there were lines at every restaurant.
Yeah.
It was crazy, crazy popular, crazy crowded.
Your first Sphere experience, correct?
It was, and
How was that?
it changed my whole attitude about the Sphere.
Because you poo-pooed it on the front end.
I
You're like
did.
doing too much. Don't need all the bells and whistles.
I thought it would be very distracting. Like I'm there to listen to the Eagles, one of my favorite.
Now, where
bands.
were you sitting? Because in the Sphere, it's not. I think it's not like a given that you want to sit all the way up front. I
Right.
think there's something to wanting to sit higher up.
Yes, we were. I don't know the Sphere well enough to know what everything's called, but we were like on a mezzanine
Get
level.
closer to that mic.
200 level is
200
probably where
level.
you were.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
probably where. But we were overlooking the stage. They were really good seats, and but the presentation that they do is almost ineffably astounding because it's probably all AI, but you see the entire 180 degrees. And they start off with, it's like a Hotel California scene where you see all these sights from California, the Hollywood sign, and the ocean's over here. And it's just astoundingly real.
You seem to be very moved by this experience.
Yes, I was. Because it doesn't affect the music. It doesn't affect your ability.
It enhances.
Yeah, it doesn't affect your ability to appreciate the sound.
What drugs were you on?
I was just gonna ask, tripping? What were you doing there?
I felt like I was. Like that was the experience. But it was wonderful.
Just 14 Miller Lights?
It wasn't that many. No.
A couple of things. First of all, this is snobby, and it's unclear whether or not this is the case. Is it Eagles or the Eagles? Because
I think it's the.
Talking Heads is properly not the Talking
Right.
Heads, and there are a lot of people who will advocate.
It's a good question.
It's just Eagles.
It's a
It's
Right,
not
because like
the
Foo Fighters
Eagles.
is Foo Fighters, not the Foo Fighters. It's Foo Fighters.
Okay, and it's Eagles.
I
Oh,
think
really?
that's
There's no
right.
It's Eagles.
I think that's correct.
The
But-
Beatles, though.
Dave, Dave, you dropped the. It's a lot cleaner.
I hear you, right, that you want to, you
That's a
want to
reference,
grease the
guys.
skids a little bit. But the other thing is with the Eagles, that it's funny that you, as a Floridian, dig them because I have said before, there are a lot of people who don't love Eagles or the Eagles.
Right.
Now it's in my head. Now it's ruining the conversation.
Wow, you think it's just Eagles?
But
huh?
Eagles or the Eagles, I consider to be the ultimate. You know how we have system QBs? They only thrive in certain circumstances. Bands only work for my ears in certain circumstances, and the Eagles are for me the ultimate system band. I didn't love the Eagles growing up in Pittsburgh or going to college or anything, But when you're driving at sunset on the 405, when you're driving on PCH and
Yeah.
you're driving down
the
and the sun is
PCH.
setting
Pacific Coast
over the
Highway.
Pacific, and you put on "Take It to the Limit,"
Yeah.
it's the optimal song you could be playing in that environment, and they are therefore
Yeah.
the greatest system band. But you dug them here while looking out at the Atlantic, eh?
I did. Yeah, I think they're a national band. For me, 3 generations ago, it was the Beach Boys were always considered the American band.
That's a great conversation too, because I think REM has now overtaken both. But I'm sorry, didn't mean.
Oh,
Street
really?
band.
Atlanta's own? No, they're not Atlanta. Where are they from?
Athens.
The little dump.
I think they're a niche band. I like REM.
So Eagles is your number one greatest American band of all
I feel like
time.
you went to
I
the
think
Eagles
so.
mainly because Mom wanted to go.
I feel like this is two Americas.
She's a bigger fan than
I think it.
Go ahead, Roy.
Who do you like, Roy? Earth, Wind, and Fire? What do you got?
Oh yeah, Earth, Wind, and Fire is excellent. Excellent band.
Dave, I
Kool and the
think-
Gang.
I think if the
Temptations.
Eagles were
Temptations.
Greg's favorite band, he would have known for sure that's who they were going to Vegas to see.
Well, here's the thing. We've seen the Eagles before.
Because your wife. I think you're just latching on to Mom's fandom for the
Okay.
Eagles right now.
Does she like the Eagles more than me? If we're gonna have a weight,
You didn't know you were
content?
going to
Yes.
see them in Vegas.
I
is
wasn't
Az's point.
sure.
It'd be like if when I'm going with my son up to Boston to go see Pearl Jam's, like, who are you going to see? I think we're going
Yeah,
to see
like,
Pearl
it's
Jam.
just like
Okay, but you have equine blinders on when it comes to Pearl Jam.
Right, I know
like
they're my
a lo-
favorite.
I like a lot of different groups and
Right.
types of music.
Right.
We need to get younger. Say Drewski.
So I want to bring something up that I saw yesterday that I hope we can start giving more attention to, and this is just a jumping off point when we're talking about local athletes who are beloved here. Like Dave brought up yesterday when we talked, like what position group is the best down here, And
Soccer forward.
we talk about Marino, obviously, and Dwayne Wade, but I'm going to tell you something. We better start having a conversation about Alexander Barkov. All right. You see Alexander Barkov yesterday. He's been very involved for years now. I mean, what's he been on the team, by the way, for 13 years?
No, like
Does that
9 or
sound
10.
right?
9 or 10, I think.
Yeah, I thought he was drafted in like 13 maybe. Maybe you're right. He's been down here forever. It's the only team he's played for. And for a very long time, he is extremely generous and charitable with his time with the Joe DiMaggio Children's Hospital, which, by the way, like it takes a special kind of dude, I think, a special kind of person, period. But when you're an athlete and you're devoting your time to going and spending time with sick kids, okay, that is a special type of person.
And when you say sick kids, are they nice with it, or are you talking about sick like ill?
I'm talking about ill.
Oh, okay. When you
And
say ill, do you mean like ill like in the 80s? Yo, that kid is
Like he's
ill?
illin'?
Or do you mean like,
I mean, he is in a
Under the
very unfortunate circumstance.
got it, okay.
It takes a really special type of dude, all right, to devote their free time to being around and trying to make a great day for sick children. And he spends a lot of time at that hospital. I mean, the place that he took the Stanley Cup was to the Joe DiMaggio Children's Hospital. And yesterday they unveiled that he made they didn't give the exact number, but a 7+ digit figure donation that he personally made to the hospital yesterday, and they named like an area or like a wing in the hospital. They named after him. He's crying up there at the honor that he's received. And this is a guy who shows zero emotion. All right, It's part of what makes him so great.
I believe he says we don't have the video, but he says in it, I don't think I've ever cried.
Yeah.
Like, this is the first time I've cried.
Yeah, and I hope, and granted, the Panthers winning the Stanley Cup the last couple years plays a major part, and that's great. But I hope that we overall start to really acknowledge this person for how great he is and what he does in this community. And yesterday was a really good time to bring that up.
He's a kind guy, and he spends genuine time with those kids. One of my campers at Camp Fiesta, which is that summer camp for children with cancer that I'm a part of, Caden, he's a patient at Joe DiMaggio Children's Hospital, and he was one of the kids who last year actually gave Barkov like an award that they had created for him. And the way Caden talks about Alexander Barkov is as if they are truly friends, because that is the amount of time that Barkov spends
tremendous
at that hospital. And this is just one of dozens of kids who he has spent that type of time with. He's a really special human being for being around and present the way that he is. It's one thing to donate your time. It's one thing to donate your money. It's another thing to do both.
Well, listen, I didn't know you were doing that, Taché, so you also deserve credit for that, because I say it all the time. We talk about courage and bravery and all those sorts of things when it comes to sports and obviously military action and beyond. I mean, the balls to do that. People, I'm, as I've made clear, a Steelers fan, and people were very down on Russell Wilson a couple of years ago, and I was too from a football perspective, but you will never hear me say a bad word about what a strange guy he is, and his life arc is strange. Man, he faithfully goes to children's hospitals, even after the Malcolm Butler game, which, professionally was a down moment for him. He made his regular appointed visit to the children's hospital in Seattle. J.J. Watt does that. Charlie Batch does that. Guys who do that, man, that is courage to go. And Taché, you deserve a shout out too, because if you can go and with those kids, what they go through and to boost their spirits is the greatest balls you can have.
No, my family's been a part of that.
That was a bad turn of phrase. Greatest balls you can have.
My family's been a part of that for a long time, so I'm really just like a Nepo hero. I was born into it.
We take back some of the credit.
You work hard.
It's like The Incredibles.
Just Barkov's the real deal is the point that I'm trying to get to. And if hockey here meant to all of us all these years what it does, let's say, to people in Pittsburgh, Alexander Barkov would be the tops of the tops,
100%. I totally agree with that. Because right now, again, doing the Mount Rushmore thing, I think it's always going to be Wade Marino as a starting point.
Well, and then we need to have a conversation about Barkov.
Yeah, they're baked in, sort of.
That's great. Yeah, he should be the face of the Panthers by athletic deed, too.
Especially now, it's not a niche sport anymore. When you win 2 Stanley Cups in a row and you're selling out every arena, it's not a niche sport. It has arrived, hockey has, fully. I don't care what Sid said yesterday, making fun of South Florida as not a hockey town. And so you're right. I agree with you. I think Barkov deserves to be elevated to that echelon, not just for the off-field stuff you mentioned, but partly because of that. And on the ice, we've seen this year the downfall of the Panthers, which I think is totally related to Barkov not playing.
And the goalie being terrible.
That too.
And the reality in the 21st century of the number of games you play, and it's take it to the limit. Once again, style
Eagles.
of play in all the major sports.
Look, take it easy with the Eagles references. Okay?
Well, but
well put.
See, I missed that one.
Push it to the limit's better than take it
Push
to
It
the
to
limit.
the Limit is a way better song.
Much
Come on.
better.
Push it to the limit, walking past the razor's edge. You gotta do that.
What movie you think about when you hear that?
There's only one
Scarface.
movie.
Should we put
One
that on
movie.
the poll? What song better to go down PCH? Those 2 songs?
Absolutely, but
There's only
Zaz,
one answer.
Yes.
what movie? Forget about what
Say-
movie.
say the
What scene?
Oh, when they're making the money.
They're at the
Like,
banks.
montage
They're making
scene.
They're at the
moves.
banks.
You got
on
the
the
white
phone.
tiger
You got
and
the
the money
duffel bag. And they're
Yeah.
carrying the duffel bags inside the vans.
Starts with the money counter.
They're making moves.
What is that? I don't even know what this "Take It to the Limit" song you're speaking
That's
of.
what I'm saying.
It's strange to me. It never has occurred to me until literally the last 90 seconds. Miami, which feels to me like a storied American city, and obviously it is. It's funny to me that the Dolphins are by far and away the most tenured team in this town.
Yeah.
It's weird. Everything else is 15 minutes ago.
Yeah.
I mean, a good portion of my childhood, we only had one professional
That's
sports team.
really
Right.
strange. Has there been a major city that went with, even just one team? It went until, wait, with the Dolphins, I should know this, 69 they come around?
66.
66.
Yeah.
Dave, here's the deal. This is the common misnomer that Miami is a major city. It's really not. It's like the growth physically and population-wise is pretty recent. But I remember even when LeBron came down here and everyone's like, these big markets are getting on. Technically, in the NBA scheme of things, 30 teams, Miami was below the top 15. They were a small market. It's a really cool place.
But
That's why people think of that.
I always go with market over population and within the city limits. But the market of Miami is got to be top 8 or
We're number
No,
13.
it's not.
13. 13.
It's and again, that's a lot of that is recency.
Yeah.
A lot of that is recency. It traditionally, historically, it was not a big market. It was not looked at as a market that can support a lot of professional sports.
We also don't talk nearly enough as a football-obsessed society about the Dolphins. I know some people are touchy about that and say it's embarrassing what the state of the Dolphins has been for many decades now. It's not a national conversation. They are very much now like the Kansas City Chiefs 8 or so years ago, which, they inhabit that weird space. Like, it's easy to make fun of the Browns, who never do anything, but the Chiefs for a long time was like, imagine being I don't have to have you guys imagine it. You're Dolphins fans. I used to always
Tell
say,
us more about the Dolphins.
imagine you're one of the most storied franchises in pro football, our most popular sport, and people hold you up as like, wow, the Chiefs were great for a long time. The Dolphins, man, they're a 10-pole franchise. They haven't done nothing for this millennium.
No.
We can imagine that.
Wait,
It's
you guys hear that?
We live it.
If I think real hard, I can imagine it.
I hear the is that Dan Le Batard running in here? They're like, I got to talk about this. How they haven't been relevant in 25 years.
Yeah, a quarter of a century since the last playoff win.
I mean, are they the best? But for real, I guess I'm getting hyperbolic to try to make a point, but are the Dolphins the team that we sort of in our brains considered like, oh yeah, they're not a punchline team, like kind of are after the last 30, 40 years.
Oh,
They are. We're aware.
Yeah.
They
I'll give you 5 words. We are the New York Knicks.
Okay, I feel fair.
That's a team that's like hasn't
6
had
words.
success.
We are the New York Knicks.
Is that 6 words?
6.
They were in the Eastern Conference Finals last year.
The's a small
That's like
word.
that's like the Dolphins going to the AFC Championship game and then losing, right? Like they haven't done that.
I guess.
Well, the other one that I would volunteer is they're not a punchline team, but the Niners, they inhabit what I'm describing here, which is if you are 40 or younger, people talk about the Niners as one of the most you didn't experience that viscerally. You know about it from the elders in your community, but you don't know what it feels like to actually win.
I like the idea
Cowboys
there's an area where there's just 49ers elders who are hanging out together. Let's go see the elders.
It's Joe Montana, just sitting there in a throne, much like Zaslow in his backwards hat. Yeah, that the Niners are kind of that now too. That there's a distinction to be made between them and the Dolphins because the Niners go to Super Bowls, but then they cause you great pain. If you're a Niners guy,
Sure, but you have playoff wins.
I would
well,
kill
but
to
that's
have that pain.
That's a philosophical debate. Do you like getting to the big
I
spot
would
and
love
then
that
being
pain.
crushed?
Zaz, would you rather get to Super Bowls and NFC Championship games
Yeah.
or AFC Championship games
I would-
than
Yes,
do what the
because-
Dolphins are doing?
Because I'm at a point in my life, and I think I've been pretty clear about this. I'm at a point in my life where it isn't just about winning the championships anymore. I want the moments. It's the
Journey over
moments.
destination,
Yes,
right?
it's the moments that lead up to. It's why, like the Miami Heat, when they lost the finals in 2023 to Denver. Holy shit, did I enjoy that playoff run? There were so many amazing moments, particularly spearheaded by Jimmy Butler. I look back really fondly at that. I want the moments. The moments to me are just as good as winning the championship. And the Dolphins, I haven't had a moment with the Dolphins since the Lamar Smith game. We're going back 26 years.
Well,
Dolphins are Nebraska football. Used to mean something. Now, joke.
I think that
that's a good one.
I think if you're a Dolphin fan, you had a moment a few years ago when they're the best offense in the league and they're scoring 70 points against Denver. That was really exciting.
That's supposed to
for a
last
minute.
longer.
Oh, my God.
That's supposed to last longer. That
a
was
regular
so annoying.
season feeling, that's not good enough
That's
for that
the
to be the
best
moment.
Dolphins football of my lifetime.
Yes.
Like,
That's
I was
right.
born in 95.
And it's not good enough.
Right. The Wildcat, that era is the second best Dolphins football I've ever witnessed. It's been all mediocrity. The way you guys have complained about, like, 2 seasons of the Heat being in mediocrity and, I'm not going to want to watch. I'm not going to do this.
A little more than 2 seasons, buddy.
I just
It's
like
been
to say
2
real-
seasons
I
of
just
playing
would-
in and out.
I
They were in the
would-
finals the year before.
If I could just say very quickly, you guys had some really nice moments this past season with the Canes. You came up a little,
100%.
and I mean, you should
amazing.
You shouldn't hang your
patronize
heads.
us.
I mean, I know that the
This is
Hoosiers
one
beat
opportunity for you to
in-
do
You
the
know what? I know
Mendoza
what you're doing.
bullshit.
I know what he's doing. He's
Hoosiers
doing the
won
bullshit right
national
now.
Championship, and that was a great moment. But I want to take a moment to pour one out for the Canes fans.
First
'cause-
off,
but you guys,
don't do
you
that.
should- don't-
Look at me.
Keep your chin up.
Look at me right now,
Keep
Dave
your
Damashek.
chin up.
Look at me. You're not looking at me. Look at me right now.
Okay.
I'm going to take what you did,
Yeah.
which was the bullshit,
Uh-huh.
and we're going to flip it into the right stuff. Because when you talk about what the Canes were doing The going to Texas A&M in the middle of a windstorm, ending it with an interception. Okay,
Yep.
Bryce Fitzgerald ending the season for Texas A&M. That was a huge moment. Ohio
You
State.
just did the Fernando Mendoza dive into the end zone against the Canes
I did the
post.
Bryce.
That was
I
great.
didn't. I did the Fitzgerald
The pick
interception.
six against Ohio State. That was a moment.
On New Year's Eve of all things.
Carson Beck running into the end
With
zone.
his legs.
That was a moment. Like, I got the moments from the Canes. Yes, winning the championship would have been amazing, but I got the moments. So to answer your question, would I take the heartbreak of the Dolphins losing in the AFC Championship game or in the Super Bowl? Yes, because I'm likely still gathering the moments leading up to that point.
Yeah, well, also, in the moment, you don't know. It's not like you have divine foresight of what's going to happen.
Well, no, but I am acknowledging in that moment, holy shit, that was unbelievable. And then the entire next day, I'm thinking about how I felt, and I can't watch enough highlights of Carson Beck running into the end zone.
The next day, you're like, oh, my God, I can't believe we lost that. But in the moment, you thought, you believed, oh, my God, it's actually going to happen in a way that right now you don't even have that feeling. You'd rather have that feeling and have the heartbreak associated with it than to be bereft of any feeling whatsoever.
The Keontae Scott interception
amazing
will live. Greg, you tell
amazing.
me, is that a 25-year highlight where 25 years from we're like, you remember that New Year's Eve night?
I think so.
Like Keontae Scott intercepting the ball, going the other way,
Yep.
reading the entire situation, beating Ohio State, like doing all the things that the Canes did in that run was something I'll never forget.
Mm-hmm.
The only problem with that is that is going to, if it doesn't continue on for the next 25 years with any other moments, that's going to be looked at by future generations sitting here doing shows like this the way that I look at even the Marino years.
Mm-hmm. You guys are all right about celebrating these moments. That's if you set the expectation as a fan that my team wins the title or it's a bust of a season, you're going to be a pretty miserable human being going through life. But then again, you touch on expectation, and why it hurts extra worse is if you have Dan Marino. If you have a generational guy, then you set expectations at a different level. And when you don't meet those, that's when it's crushing. The Dolphins haven't even had a reason to be hopeful.
No.
You know what else I'll never forget? Roy saying that Carson Beck's going to throw the interception. On my deathbed, I'll remember that for the rest of my life. For the rest of my life, I'll remember that.
Florida, man. That's Florida. When did you decide to start doing that? When was it encouraged? When did that become your signature? The idea that you're up there just throwing your body at the people here in a tight pair of jeans shirtless?
I was. The jeans have gotten tighter the fat I've gotten. They weren't always tight. My daughter said Baby Walrus needs to move out of skinny jeans. I started doing it just to cheer myself up, because you get on the road and do like a Thursday night and you'd be like, I got a whole weekend ahead of me. This is going to be a long weekend. I'm missing my family. It's not sold out. So I would rip my shirt off and kill a beer to make myself giggle, because I thought it was silly, and to remind myself this should be fun. And then one night I was in Columbus, Ohio. I ripped my shirt off and killed a beer. And then something happened in the room and I forgot to put it back on. And one of the comics I respected was in the back and he was like, bro, you just did a whole hour with your shirt off.
And how does this work with comfort with your body? Because not everyone can do that. You're the first to be doing that. Not everyone is comfortable enough with their size to be in front of thousands of people shirtless like that, because it is funny.
It's interesting because I have this reverse body dysmorphia. So like I heard a story, secret time. Obviously I'll tell you, but secret time. I heard a story that Chris Pratt was a fat kid growing up, and that someone told me like he'll always be fat in his head. No matter how great of shape he is, he'll always think of himself as a fat kid. I was in shape as a kid, and so I do not see myself fat at all. As a matter of fact, I think in Razzle Dazzle, I look low-key jacked. I think I look better than I've ever looked. My shoulders, dude, look at my shoulders.
You are jacked. Oh, yeah. You got some cuts right there. You see it there?
I mean, I'm feeling good. I feel great about my body.
The new Netflix stand-up special, Razzle Dazzle.
Oh, look at that. Look at that.
Bert, stop making those
Never show your belly button.
Yes.
Do that thing where you're
Let's increase your female viewers.
make your boobs move.
This is a body you can get.
Razzle Dazzle is the stand-up special. How old would you have to be? What is the age if I came up to you and said, Bert, you're not going to believe this, but the new movie, Machine, it's in theaters in May, and Razzle Dazzle, a Netflix special, is happening. At what point in your career, at what age would you have said, yeah, that's a possible dream?
Oh, 50? Where I am. I didn't think any of that was going to happen. Listen, I got to be dead honest with you. I shot Razzle Dazzle in November, and I'm used to the Netflix specials, but with the Machine movie, that was sitting on a shelf. They weren't doing anything with it, and they weren't going to release it. And it wasn't until I leaked it on Rogan that it got life. And so ever since it's got life, now it's got real life, and so I didn't think the movie was ever going to come out.
Dan, Bert's got me feeling confident. You know what? I'm going to join you, Bert, taking the shirt off.
Wow.
I love it. I love it.
Well, I'm going to have to do it, too.
I, too, was ripped when I was younger, Bert.
To do it.
Let's all be. Come on, bros.
Oh, man.
I don't really want to do
Round the
this,
horn.
but-
Dude, you're looking good.
The Mano Lantern.
Okay.
Oh, my
Dan's
God.
doing it too. Dano!
Years. Take the
uncomfortable.
top off.
Oh, jeez.
All right, you are allowing us to be more comfortable with our physical
Okay.
appearances.
I have to take off my nipple stickers.
He's a pioneer and an icon.
Oh, look at
perfectly
Dan.
haired.
Mr. Nipple.
Oh,
Perfect.
Do this
Sorry,
to
I didn't-
everybody.
I don't know. It's like a
Cold in
routine.
here.
Yeah,
Because
it is
reverse body
cold in
dysmorphia.
here.
It's a reverse
It's a
body
really
dysmorphia
weird
thing.
time for Jessica to come back
yeah, I
into
was
the
like,
room.
Jessica,
Perfectly
do
haired
not walk in
gentleman.
here.
Hey, Jess.
You like it, Bert?
Get out.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
Why
So
are you massaging?
Andrew Luck making an appearance there. Bert, I do want to know when you were partying, the top partier at the #1 party school in the country. What did that look like?
You're looking at
Marijuana in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Around 4. Simpsons, fried chicken, and a lot of cocktails up until about 2 a.m. Then back to my place. Goat Campbell around 3 a.m. Joint set on the Seminole Head.
I love you.
And not a lot of sex, just dudes.
The best 6.5 years of your life, Bert.
How much public nudity was there?
An aggressive amount. This is back before that was considered assault.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Nice. You said that with a lot of force. I feel like that was a really good read, Greg. You're on fire so far today, man.
Appreciate that. Thanks, Ass.
Why is there a poll behind Tony from the start of our show today?
Juju has the polls. We usually do that at the end of the show.
No. It's that like
An actual poll.
It's a
kinda
poll
deal.
more like a staff.
I'm glad. It's time to start holding people's feet to the fire here around this show. You know, like everybody loves to talk about what they will and won't touch with a figurative 10-foot pole. And Tony's back there talking about this, that, and the other. Everybody. That's what the show's about. But you know what? We go the extra mile. It's not a figurative 10-foot pole. We have a literal 10-foot pole. What will you touch with it or refuse to touch?
Tony's
Tony's
9 feet tall, I guess.
All right. So how do we get this started then? What?
Well, let's do some basketball. Actually, should we hand that thing to Amin? Let's see how it's done. Give that one to Amin.
Hey, give it to Amin.
He's the basketball guy, right?
All right,
Okay.
so he's holding
Give him the 10-foot pole here.
He's
Hold on.
holding
Be
a
careful of the
10-foot pole.
cameras and the lighting. All right.
There you go. All right.
All right, listen. People were very excited. They were very upset in Dallas a year ago when Luka went from the Mavs to the Lakers, and people, boundless optimism in Los Angeles when Luka arrived. Titles, not multiple titles, not one, not two. Luka now, there's some discord. People are unhappy with him. Amin, Luka will finish his time with the Lakers without winning a single ring. Will you touch that with the literal 10-foot pole? Oh, wow. Where's the image? We need an image of we need the image of old Luka there.
I will
there he is.
stab it with a 10-foot pole because here's the deal. As I gingerly put this thing down. All right, number one, winning championships is hard. We see it every year. People get hurt. People get suspended. People lose the motivation to play hard, apparently. Coaches mess up. So just the act of winning a championship is never a given in the NBA. Number two, Luka Doncic has not historically been a durable guy. No, I'm not doing a let's support Nico Harrison's BS trade thing, but there was a kernel of truth in, like, how do we know this guy is going to stay durable? Number three, he plays in the Western Conference, and as we see every day, the Western Conference is cutthroat. You could be a championship caliber team and never even get a chance. Why? Because the Western Conference. And number four, the biggest thing about the current CBA is nothing is permanent. Guys are getting traded left and right. To say, oh, he'll finish his Laker career with a championship, how long is his Laker career even going to be? He might be gone in a couple of years.
Paul Hamels.
Interrupted to get that one in there.
So Amin would touch that with a 10-foot pole, so as a result, he's got the pole.
I'm stabbing it with the 10-foot pole. That's
okay.
There's no fear in my heart when it comes to this.
I have another one then. Hand this one off to Tony. Let's see how he feels about
Talk
that.
to me, Dave.
It came up yesterday when Greg Cody came in here and said that he had just finished off an egg and sausage, egg and ham. Is that what you said?
I think it was egg and ham, yeah.
Egg and ham croissant, which was a weird way to articulate what he had just eaten, because generally people go meat and then the egg is the afterthought.
Like ham and egg, yeah.
Yeah, right. But you did
like a
what
ham
you
and
did.
egger.
But now what really caught my ear was that you mentioned ham, which is, in my book, the best of all breakfast meats, underrated though it may be. A bone-in ham. Yeah, that's a good way to go.
Bone-in ham.
Bone-in ham with some over easy eggs,
like
on
a
the
honey
side.
glazed ham.
No, like the kind you get at Christmas time, and then you put it in the fridge at night, and then when you wake up, your first deed is to shave off some nice pieces, then drop them into
It's a honey baked ham.
Okay, a honey baked ham then. Yeah. Okay. So it's better than bacon.
Greg, you were on me with that, right? Honey baked ham. You know,
Are you raising your voice?
But now you're.
I am.
Oh, like the one at Cracker Barrel.
Can we get? Yes. Can we get a picture of a pig up here right now? Okay, here we have a pig.
Oh, look at
Tony.
Him. He's gonna taste so good.
If you can only consume the flesh of one beast to the exclusion of all others for the rest of your life, the correct beast to choose is swine. Will you touch that with a 10-foot pole?
I would again stab it with a 10-foot pole like I'm harpooning a whale. I would go like this. Boom. Where's my camera? Right.
So
there.
you're going
Boom.
swine.
So pig would be the.
No, I'm going a different one.
Oh, so you would not touch it.
No, he'll touch the conversation.
I don't think he knows
he's
how
willing
this works.
to. No, he's willing to talk about it.
Thank you, Jeremy. Thank
he's
you.
touching the conversation with
Yes.
a 10-foot pole.
Yes,
he doesn't have
yes,
to agree with your take.
Correct.
No. But he's not. But the point is that swine is the best of all
It is
meats.
not. It is not. It
So
is-
Let
you
the man
would
deliver
not
his
touch
side of it.
that.
I would not. It is the cow.
Make your case.
Yeah.
The cow has so many different things. I can cook steaks. I can get ribs. I can do burgers. I can do
Ribs.
whatever I.
You can
Yeah.
get beef ribs,
I
but
can
you
get
can
a
really
beef rib.
do you? Okay, I mean, if you really zero in there, you want beef ribs.
Have you
over
ever had a
pork
good
ribs?
beef? Yeah.
Of course, I've had good.
Okay, so then what are you talking about?
I
They come
know
out
what
like
it
a
tastes like.
dinosaur.
I know a pork rib is
The
better.
pork rib is tiny. It's a
better
tiny
than
little
a beef
rib. The beef rib is like this big. It comes out like the pole.
Like the
Baby back.
Flintstones.
Exactly right. Like a dinosaur rib. That's what I like with a bark on top. I know you've had those.
I love that bark.
The bark is great.
Rawr, rawr.
You have that. You have steaks of all kinds.
Okay.
You can do sausage.
Steaks of all kinds.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
Steaks
2
of
or
all
3.
kinds, yeah.
New York
Burnt
strip.
ends.
Filet mignon.
Ribeye.
T-bone.
Churrasco. Do you even know about churrasco?
You know about churrasco?
I don't know about churrasco. I do know about burgers, and I'll miss them. I'll miss them something awful.
What?
But then again,
What are you gonna eat a pork loin?
I'm gonna wrap myself up in pork chops.
Yeah, bacon.
and baby back.
Beef bacon is better.
ribs.
Pork belly.
Minute pole.
Beef bacon is the superior bacon.
Short ends.
Can
Who
I tell
mentioned
you-
the short ends? Roy. No,
Bert, you can get
Burn
burn
ends.
ends. You can get burn ends on the cow.
Burn
What are
ends
we
is
doing
so
here?
good.
Yeah, but that's off the brisket though. That's beef.
Yeah.
That's
Brisket.
good,
buddy.
Yeah, baby.
Guess what's for dinner?
Okay, I would go cow as well, but can I tell you, ham is great.
By the way, hey, how can you eat ham?
Well, okay, so I love ham.
Jews eat. I think that's an antiquated notion. Tony.
Misnomer.
No, it hasn't
Jewish
changed.
people
It's not
eat-
antiquated.
Hey,
I don't know
he-
anybody. I don't know very many Jewish people outside of Orthodox Jews.
Look to your right.
Who don't eat ham.
Okay,
and
so-
haven't their whole lives.
So I love ham. All right, don't get me wrong. I did not try ham. I never tasted ham for the first time until I was 16 years old.
what the hell?
That's crazy.
That seems impossible. To
I'm
me.
growing up. People are having ham and cheese sandwiches. Whatever else you're doing with your.
And hold
ham.
on, you're sitting there like, oh, I wish I could have some.
It never occurred to me even to have it. I just know this is not something that we have ever had in my house. Just like growing up, I never had soda in my house. Okay,
That's not true.
this is something that we never had in my house, ham, and I know that we didn't have it in my house because we're Jewish, and it's just a thing that we don't eat. And I had never ever tried it before. Never even thought about it, to be honest. All right, and then at 16 years old, my parents got divorced.
I'm sorry.
And I'm all right.
And then you get your rebellious phase started.
And my father moved out, and he got his own place, and I was at his place one time, and he's making a sandwich, and he pulls ham, deli meat ham, out of the fridge, and I'm like, "What you got there, man?" And he said, "This is ham." I go, ham? I'd never been in a house where there's ham. I go, ham? Not that I was offended as a Jewish person. I was offended because I never had it before. And I go, I want to try that ham. And he gave me a piece. I'm like, this is delicious. And so now for the rest of my life, I love ham.
Me a
So
ham.
good.
Let me say it right now. As someone who does not eat pork, every time I've accidentally had pork, disgusting.
Really?
I've had pork chops on accident. I've had
How do
ham
you
on
have
accident.
pork
I
chop
accidentally
by
ate pork chop.
No,
How
because
did that
Did you
happen?
slip and fall and a pork chop went in your mouth?
I was somewhere where they were serving, and I took like one bite out of it.
Because
and I
you're
was like-
curious?
No. Like it was one of those like
You ever
oh,
do that blind
it's a-
buffet?
No, he
it's
must
a
have been
preset.
dry.
It's a preset like, hey, this is the main course, and they brought it out. I'm like, okay, and I thought it was beef, and I took a bite. Like, oh, this is disgusting. What's that? I was like, oh, it's pork chops. I'm like, oh, that's gross. Bacon. I've had bacon. It was like, oh, this is gross. Right?
Wow.
I didn't know bacon was in it. I took a bite in the burger. I was like, oh, what is that? And I was like, oh, it's bacon. But you give me some beef bacon. Oh my God.
Beef bacon.
Beef bacon is amazing.
Never
I
even
like turkey
heard of
bacon.
it.
I used to like turkey bacon until
a
I
little
had,
flat.
until I had beef bacon,
Yeah,
and I
it's
was
a
like,
little flat.
holy hell, I've been living a lie.
Josh Hamilton.
I mean, a lot of people would choose swine for their one beast because of bacon.
Yeah.
That's how much people often
But
love
again,
it.
you don't know churrasco. You don't get it. You've never had a churrasco medium rare with a little chimichurri on top and a little lime squeezed on top. My
Also,
God.
you know why the whole bacon obsession is, right? Because Big Bacon put in billions of dollars into marketing to have bacon in milkshakes, bacon in donuts. This is a real thing. I'm not
My
making
taste
it
buds
up.
were duped. Is that
Absolutely,
your
you
claim?
were
Big bacon, big
programmed.
pork.
You were programmed by
other
the
white
pork
meat.
sellers of America. Yes, the other white meat. Look at you. You're
What else
just-
are you being
you're a
programmed
pawn.
by?
You're
huh?
a pawn like
what
those
else are you
hockey
being
players.
programmed by, Dave Damashek?
Well, here's the other thing I believe is that even when it comes to people will try to make a divide of sausage links versus sausage patty, and they'll say, well, the virtue of the patty is when you want a breakfast sandwich, and I say, even then, give me the link. Give me the splayed out link on the on whatever your delivery bread is. If it's a bagel or an English muffin or just traditional pieces of bread, I'll take the link over the patty. There's
I like the patty.
There's no situation that I ever want the sausage.
I'm a link
patty.
guy.
The link has to have a snap to
A
it.
snap. That's the
Yes.
difference. That's what you
Snap.
get from it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so are we touching it with the 10-foot pole?
Tony did not, or he
No, but
said
he's
he
touching
should.
it.
Touch-
Just to change your opinion.
Not
I got
touching-
it right now to give you the right opinion.
Not touching it with a 10-foot pole means you say that like, oh,
He's
I don't want
refusing.
it.
I don't- rejecting
want to have
it.
this conversation.
I'll have the conversation, and I'll be right.
Right. So he touched it.
Lavernius Poles.
All right, who else can play? We got another one, Dave?
Who else wants it?
Garrett Pohl, right? Did we do that one yet?
Yeah, you're playing the
Now
game.
you're playing the game.
All right, you know what? If you want to stick with, you know what? Let's go back to sports here. There's a lot of buzz around Connor McDavid is a big choker, and
Let's give
then
it to
this is
Roy.
led because
is this a Roy?
our favorite thing. Well, no, actually, I'm going to go football here, and because our favorite sport is
What a
pro
tease,
football, then we have to connect Connor McDavid or whoever's in the news to make it an NFL conversation, and so now it has become Josh Allen and Connor McDavid are comparable because neither guy's ever going to win a title. I think Zaz floated something interesting though. Is Patrick Mahomes? Let's give it to. We want Zaslow.
Sure, I want to try.
Let's give Zaslow the literal 10-foot pole here.
J. Pole.
Here we go. Jonathan Zaslow. Patrick Mahomes is finished winning Lombardis. Will you touch that with a 10-foot pole?
You'll have this conversation.
Zaz is now holding the 10-foot pole.
We did Nick right dirty by showing the Patrick Mahomes picture, which is always funny. Okay, so pose me the question again. I was very focused on not dropping the ball.
Patrick Mahomes is finished winning Lombardis. As a player, at least.
We had a conversation only a few minutes ago about how difficult it is to win a championship. Patrick Mahomes has already won 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been to, a total of 5 Super Bowls? He's lost 2?
Right.
So I am touching this with a 10-foot pole. I'm all over this.
Think about if that actually happens. That is a bold stance
Yeah.
to take. That Patrick Mahomes
will not win another one.
Well, 13 months ago, had he and his teammates beaten the Eagles, we would now talk about Patrick Mahomes as the greatest quarterback of all time.
Which would have been ridiculous.
Well, if you win 3 in a row, there's at least a case to be made, and then it would be the MJ
Oh,
and
but
LeBron
the guy they're
conversation.
comparing him to has won 7.
I hear you. Like I say, it would be the Jordan and LeBron debate ongoing, and instead, I do think that it's plausible, at least, if not likely, that Patrick Mahomes has won his last Lombardi.
Yeah, that's why I'm touching it with this pole, Greg.
I see why you're touching that 10-foot pole. I think his reputation is sealed and made. Like, he doesn't have to win a
Well, he's
fourth.
going to the Hall of Fame, but
Right.
it would be disappointing at this point, right?
It
He's
would
not
be
30 yet.
disappointing for him, but not for history.
I don't
in
think it
my
would be
opinion.
disappointing. Yeah, it'd be disappointing for him. Right.
Because how many and I don't know the answer to this. I suspect the number is 5 or less. How many quarterbacks have won 3 or more Super Bowls?
It's 5 or less.
Montana,
Bradshaw, Aikman.
Brady, Aikman.
Aikman
Mahomes.
is the outlier in that, right?
I think Bradshaw is, no?
Oh, come on. Don't do that. Don't do that. I mean, I know you want to play that game, but obviously Bradshaw made the mid-career pivot from a guy who turned around and handed the ball off, allegedly, to Franco and Rocky Blyer, and the defense carried the day. And then they installed the Mel Blount rule in 1978, and he leads the league in touchdown passes and wins the MVP. Don't give me that jive, Cody.
Nicole Kidman.
You could make an argument that Terry Bradshaw is undeserving of the Hall of Fame. You could make that argument. What's his
I can make
career?
a lot of arguments. Doesn't make him right.
He laughs in your face with that statement,
Terry
Greg.
Bradshaw's, and I don't have the stats in front of me.
I'll pull up the stats, Greg.
Terry
Oh, my
Bradshaw's
God.
career completion
They're gonna be
percentage
underwhelming.
is around 52% or something.
You know
It's ridiculous.
you know who else's career completion percentage is around there? Everyone else he played with. It was a different era. It was a different game.
He was
if
low
you're
for
trying to
that
measure,
era.
no, he was not. If you're trying to measure him against 21st century
Low.
QBs, everyone's going to lose out. Everyone. Roger Staubach does not have Brock Purdy's stats.
Yeah.
Ryan Tannehill threw for more career yards than Joe Montana. Does that make him better than Montana?
Nope.
I mean, come on. Listen, you can take circumstantial, generational stats and compare them with the 70s. And, of course, it's the same reason that Steve Garvey isn't in the Hall of Fame and Dave Parker had to wait so long to get in, because we try to apply modern standards to things that happened 40 years ago. It's unfair.
Paul Feinbaum.
To Greg's point, he was right on the money with the completion percentage of 51.9%, 52% for his career. But, Dave, and I will ask you this. Obviously, it's hard to compare eras because obviously the game is completely different. We could kind of establish a benchmark, a baseline of things that were bad in all eras, right? Interceptions, turnovers, bad in all eras, correct?
Sure.
70s, 80s, 90s, today.
Magic 102.7.
Terry had 1. Let me see. I'm counting. 3.
Could have done this before.
No, he had because there's a lot of rows and numbers.
Yeah, a lot
He
of
had
numbers.
4 seasons that 14 years that he did not throw double-digit interceptions.
Also,
Ouch.
they do a tournament at the end of every season. And then when they do that tournament, it's the playoffs, they call it. And then they play the Super Bowl at the end of this thing, you see. And then they give out one trophy, only one trophy. And I know people are empathetic. They're not society's greatest empath. That's me. But everybody's so empathetic about, like, that's not the end all be all, except that so long as the sport continues to conduct that tournament and award only one team the trophy, it is going to be the most important thing of the season and who wins it. And
So what are you saying here?
And in a league called the quarterback league, and when we all agree that the most difficult position in sports to play is quarterback, and when that guy is paid 20 times more than his teammates are paid, then obviously whether or not you win those games is everything. And so Terry Bradshaw won 4 of them.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? There's no case to be made. It's a ridiculous case to make that Terry Bradshaw's not a Hall of Famer.
Okay, Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl.
That's not
Okay.
That's not remotely comparable.
Will you give me this? Will you give me Terry Bradshaw is the least impressive of the 3+ Super Bowl quarterbacks?
No. Troy
Who's the-
Aikman. Troy Aikman.
What?
Troy Aikman is less impressive.
Juju,
Like
put it
I-
on the poll. Who's less impressive, Troy Aikman or Terry Bradshaw? Not Kerry Bradshaw. I almost said Kerry Bradshaw.
Dave, Terry Bradshaw had more interception seasons of 20+ than he did single digits.
Ouch.
For a long, long time, there was only one person who threw a fourth quarter go-ahead touchdown pass in the Super Bowl. Deep shots, too, at that. And Terry Bradshaw did it not once, but twice. He did it. And what's a crazy stat, though, to sort of point to how different the eras are, the first 300-yard passing game of Bradshaw's career, he gets drafted in 1970. First 300-yard passing game of his career, Super Bowl 13 in January of 1979. That's
For the
wild.
love of God, say Drewski!
So I wanted to mention something that I saw yesterday. I was looking at it on Twitter, and literally right after I was watching it, I got a message from Chris, where sending me the exact video that I was watching. And so spring training is going on right now. And by the way, I have such a hard time with baseball, where like baseball has tried to be really progressive. Major League Baseball has tried to be progressive. They're changing rules and they're trying to stick with the times, but I have a very difficult time every year knowing what rules changes are actually taking place. I never know how many teams are in the playoffs in Major League Baseball. How many playoff teams are they letting in this year? Like, I never know, all right? But I guess credit to Major League Baseball for trying to become more progressive. And one of those things is they're installing, I guess, the ABS, the Automated Balls and Strikes Challenge System. So my first question here, before I get to the video I was watching that Chris immediately notified me of at the same time I was watching it, was, is this, and I guess Jeremy's the right person to direct this question to, is this a thing, like, for sure at the Major League level this year? They are doing ABS challenge. Is it challenges?
Yeah.
And is it unlimited? Like, what is it?
I believe it starts with 2, and so long as you get it right,
If you get both
can
right?
continue. I don't think it's if you get both right. I think if you get it right, it like stays at 2.
Okay.
I can check on that and correct myself.
But
if
it's
I have that
at the
wrong to
Major
begin
League
with.
level this year.
Yeah, and it's for your team, right? It's not per player, so it is determining circumstance, no different than another challenge in another sport.
And the only people who can trigger the challenge is the pitcher, the catcher, or the batter,
Yes.
right? They got like pat their head or something.
Wait, 2 total, Taché, for the game?
It's 2 total, but as long as you get them right, you keep them.
Interesting. Wow.
Okay, so it sounds like we got that down. All right.
And now they're taking away the square, though, right? Isn't that that's the
No, the square stays, but they're taking away on the television broadcast, marking where the ball landed.
No, not even that. Actually, what they're doing.
Glad we're
is-
talking this out.
Yeah, no, it
I never
matters.
know. Going into every year with MLB, I don't know what rule changes are in effect.
The only different, well, so the rules for the last couple of years have been the same, but when you look at the way it's going to display on the screen, all that the difference is they'll even show you where the ball lands. But it used to be that when a pitch is a strike,
It
based
goes
off
green
of the
or
automatic,
red.
it would go green or red, or
Yeah.
in some cases it would fill up They're not doing that anymore.
Gotcha.
And that's a result of they just don't want teams
Whatever, I don't
to
need
be able
that.
to
I
see
got
it
eyes.
if they're going to challenge.
Yeah, whatever. That's fine. I can tell. I know what it's a ball and a strike. So anyway, yesterday there was a game, and
This poor umpire.
This well, I mean it's a job, but yeah, this poor umpire where he kept getting checked for or challenged for ball and strike calls, and like. The play happens, the pitch comes in, whoever challenged it, and then the umpire, like, he sees the challenge, and he immediately, like, steps aside, like, 5 spots. It's almost like he's now on trial. He has to step aside all on his own. He's isolated now. He's
and
standing there by
report
himself.
on himself, too. The findings, he's the one who has to say what they
he's
were.
on trial
I
now
was wrong.
for everyone to see if he's going to be innocent or guilty. And 5 consecutive challenges... The challenge was successful, and he had to announce that he was wrong. I'll tell you, I don't know how this is going to be a positive thing.
No, they're going to have to start recruiting people to be umpires, because who would want to be an umpire when you're second guess routinely?
I got great news. We have their replacement. It's called the video cameras.
Well, here's the thing. I like the human error involved in officiating. I think we should live with the human error. But if we're not going to live with the human error, the occasional human error, make a decision. Either make it all human judgment or make it all electronic. Quit waffling in between with the challenge.
Kind of with you on that.
I don't know if I totally agree with you, because this ABS system works so quickly that you issue the challenge. It happens within seconds. It's kind of like tennis, right? With the line judge. This happens so quickly. And as long as they're right, it continues on. But the way this is ultimately headed, more likely than not, is you have a human back there who is calling balls and strikes, but based off of a notification that they're getting if it's a ball.
Who wants to
or
be
if it's a
that
strike.
fool? So you're
Are you in a union and are you paid?
Your computer
I would want to
gods-
do it.
Your computer gods are telling you that was a strike. Strike,
Guys, but we have to do something, because it is the dumbest thing in all of sports that the last couple seasons, I'm at my house on my couch and I see that it's a ball or a strike, and this umpire in the game that matters is just getting it wrong. It is we can't have this technology and not use it. Like, I'm all for not making them all robots, but just the balls and strike thing, you either have to do this change or take away that box from fans. Like, you want to get my blood boiling with sports the last couple years?
Clearly.
I like this.
It is very passionate about
Yeah.
that.
I'm watching it, and it's just like, how are we here?
Get 'em.
It is the dumbest thing in all of sports. Find me something dumber the last couple seasons than a guy on my couch knowing it's a ball or a strike, but the guy officiating the game doesn't.
I haven't seen Chris this fired up since he had to eat the Chick-fil-A chicken nuggets.
That got me fired.
Greg was very excited, by the way.
Who's
Very
the
happy
guy
with
on
the
your
song.
couch? You said there's a guy on your couch, who knows? Who's the guy on
My
your couch?
friend Fred.
Oh, Fred.
Wow,
Fred.
you're becoming your father.
Yeah,
knows.
that is you becoming Greg, and right before our eyes.
So you guys know Atlanta Braves pitcher Chris Sale. He's a great pitcher. Here is Chris Sale. Now we're gonna hold him to this, right? Because this is on the record. We're holding you to this, Chris Sale. He is saying he will never challenge.
I will never challenge a pitch. I will never do it. I won't do it.
Why?
Because I'm not an umpire. That's their job.
That's fair enough.
I'm a starting pitcher. I've never called balls and strikes in my life. Plus, I'm greedy, and I know that. I think they're all strikes. Especially the catchers nowadays, the way they catch the ball, the way they receive, they make them all look like strikes. And again, I'm a starting pitcher, and I'm greedy. I like pitches that are on the corner that might be a little off. In the heat of moment, especially you throw a good pitch, you got Murph or Baldy or whoever back there, and they kind of catch it the right way. I mean, they make a lot of balls look like strikes, and I don't want to take away one of those challenges that might be needed later on in the game. And I've dealt with it before. It's across all games and my entire career, there's been balls called strikes and strikes called balls, and you just kind of deal with it.
He started, I was like, you're crazy. And then as he explained
He started
it,
to make more sense.
I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, this actually ties into something on the NBA side that we've talked about. I think, Jeremy, we talked about. Well, no, it's about challenges. And so one of the most annoying things, if you're watching NBA basketball right now.
I know what you're going to say. I'm 1,000% with you.
Ball goes out of bounds, and players instantly go, ooh, it's like 2 seconds into the game.
3 minutes into the game. Yeah. Oh, my God.
They're twirling their finger. There's a twirl in their finger. Oh, you got to and go into the coaches. Review it. And so we came up with the solution. It's like, you know what?
But some coaches do review it.
But this is the solution. The solution is to do what baseball did, which is, you know what? It's like a timeout. Any player can call it.
Yep.
And you know what? Doesn't matter if you don't have one
No
or not.
takebacks.
No takebacks. We'll do it. And if you don't have any, it's a technical foul.
Yep.
And we'll get rid of overnight all of this right here.
You're
which is the most
talking about the
ridiculous thing.
human element from the players. Yes, of course, they're in the heat of competition. What you're also advocating for is vibes over science.
No, I'm not.
We have the evidence. It's right there for all of our eyes, like Chris Cody just said. We all can see it. It has been laid bare that they are frauds, that we're assuming that human beings can stand behind and decide 97 miles per hour. Yeah, no, that was in the strike zone. When we all
What about when it curves?
We have the technology available for us. It's right there for us. Why are we pretending that doesn't exist? To put it on the players is to keep us in purgatory, to say, well, that's you to have to challenge. If you don't think that was the right call, then challenge it, player. And the reason Chris Sale doesn't want to challenge it is because he's being political. In the here and now, if he says, oh, yeah, I'm going to challenge a lot of these umpires, they don't know what they're talking about, they're going to call more balls and strikes against him.
Oh, you're saying the umpires are like, I like this guy.
There's a relationship. The catcher.
That's interesting.
The catcher is the umpire is literally hovering over him.
So he's planting
the
seeds.
whole time. The catcher knows that if I start challenging him all the time, it's going to be a fraught relationship versus me saying, like, you're doing a great job, ump.
Wait, okay, so all right.
Interesting.
Now I'm with you. Much like Chris Sale, you started, I thought you were out of your mind.
Like a crazy person.
But then as you started to land the plane and you're telling me, no. If I'm out here in support of the umpires, the umpires will be more like, oh, he's one of the good ones.
Yeah.
He doesn't question me. He doesn't second guess me a bunch of times.
Of
you know
course
what?
that's true.
It is a strike. Guess what? Vibes over stats is such a great place to be. Who wants lasers and technology? I want vibes. That's why we're here, Dave. Because we want the vibes of sports. No one wants to do math on a calculator. We want to see drama play out.
Nothing slows sports more than a challenge. Baseball saved itself from drowning by quickening the pace of its slow game. And now they're voluntarily inserting something that slows the game more. It's ridiculous.
But you need it.
No, you don't need it. You put up with the occasional human error. Instead of a pitch being a quarter of an inch outside and having a replay or an ABS system to tell us whether it was a ball or a strike.
More straw man stuff, Greg Cody. There's not it doesn't have to take 11 minutes. When they say, well, red challenge flag on the field, you know you're in for a big wait. It doesn't have to be that way. When they show the replay, do you not know, Greg Cody? I know. Immediately. I see it in real time very often. Why? Because I'm watching on HDTV. It's not in front of me. I have a clear image, literally, than the referee has of the play.
Right.
I see in real time. If I need the double down of the replay, by the time I see two replays, I'm like, yeah, that ball hit the ground. I know that. There's no reason. And by the way, what proves that I'm right about that is the way, what did they call it this past season? The expedited review or whatever. That proves that I am right about that. They would just be like, yeah, no, you should move along. Yeah, that ball was incomplete. And they would just say, expedited review, yeah, that was incomplete.
You're right.
There's no reason it has to take,
You're right.
has to take 15 minutes of your life.
Even if it's expedited, it's still too slow and an unnecessary intrusion.
Unnecessary. I'm on my couch and I know it's a ball, but this umpire who's affecting the game doesn't. You're just fine with that.
That's one of the many reasons why
it could be a buzzer.
That's one of the many reasons why it's advantageous to watch a game from your couch rather than in a stadium, unfortunately. But all I'm against is the challenge system itself. Make a decision, sports. Go with human beings making the calls with the risk of a human error, or go with all technology not in between. The challenge system is what I don't agree with. Embarrassing an umpire because he missed a call occasionally. I don't agree with
you.
that.
I mean, Greg, you and I are at the exact opposite.
Different
ends of-
garages.
Yes, different garages indeed.
Yeah.
I feel like Colonel Kurtz. I feel like Brando at the end of Apocalypse Now when it comes to officials. It has been, they're frauds. It's been laid bare with video that they don't know, that they miss calls all the time. They are they're errand boys sent by grocery clerks to collect a bill by the league office.
Okay.
We have to support their jive, their jive explanations like, well, it would take too long, it would bog the game down. Doesn't have to. It doesn't have to. It could instantly know. Yeah, strike. The only reason we don't, I think, a big part of it, at least when it comes to umpires, home plate umpires, is it would visually be jarring for us, the fans, to not see an umpire back there.
Right.
It will be a weird day when it's just the catcher.
I want to see if we can do like a robot balls and strike kind of thing right here. I want to play this and see if this was a ball or a strike.
If I were to ask you right now, what are the 3 breaking news that come to your mind immediately that you used?
Yeah, well said.
That's bullshit, man.
I think it's a strike.
You can't just take any subject matter we're talking about and then apply it.
Do you think it's a
to
ball or
that
strike?
clip.
Do you think it's a ball or strike?
Just outside
What
for
do you,
me.
what do you think's that?
You know what? I'm going to go with that being a ball.
Would you touch that sound with a
I don't know what
10-foot
that
pole?
means. The ball. Ooh.
I will say the one guy who's going to benefit. And by the way, like
I'm going
Major
with
League,
it a bald.
Major League umpires are on average right about balls and
It wasn't
strikes.
that
like
funny, I mean.
93% of the time.
Exactly.
Which is a good but that, if anything, that proves Dave's side of the point, which is the human part of this is correct the overwhelming majority of the time. So the times where it's wrong, especially late in games, it's so advantageous that there's now this system that within a few seconds we can get it right. But here's what I'm going to tell you. I believe that the guy who is going to benefit the most from this system is Jazz Chisholm Jr. Because everything about Jazz is
Black.
disliked by umpires. And he is someone who is uber confident when he walks into the batter's box. And I have watched at bat after at bat after at bat after at bat where he has a great eye, where he knows that ball is just off the plate.
Most of them do.
And he is called for strike. Not just because most of them do. I'm talking about a guy who
He lets the umpire know that he knows.
Not only does he let them know, at a disproportionate rate, you see those pitches that are balls called for strikes, and he's looking around like, what are we talking about? I'm telling you, Jazz is going to benefit in a big way from this challenge system.
Zaz with the pitch. The windup. Here it is.
The Packers win or the Bears lose. So going back to Jazz, this is actually interesting. What happens when Jazz Chisholm is up to bat, and unlike Chris Sale, Jazz Chisholm will challenge.
Oh, yeah.
And Jazz Chisholm, it's called a strike. He knows it's a ball, so he challenges, taps his head, his helmet, and the umpire is on trial all by himself, standing right over there. It comes back that it was a ball. And what if Jazz just got this shit-eating grin, just staring? Like, what's going to happen then?
Well, the other element to also do is if you are an emotional ball player and you say, "Oh, I know that was the wrong call," challenge that. The skipper is going to be like, "What are you doing? We want to save those."
Right.
It shouldn't be a strategy. There shouldn't be an element of strategy of how you deploy your challenges to deploy being right. It's a crazy place, like I say, purgatory that we live in, and it's self-imposed, or league-imposed.
One of the many things I hate about the challenge in the ABS system is the idea that theoretically the challenge can happen on the second pitch of an at-bat with nobody on base in the third inning. In other words, it's a meaningless pitch.
Well, but that's why the manager has to tell his play. There has to be a rule set that each team has, where it's like, we don't challenge unless it's after the sixth
I would
inning.
assume that there will be certain teams with certain players who might have the green light at all times. But I'll ask Clayton McCullough the next time I'm at spring training, hey, what is your rule going to be team-wide? Are there going to be certain guys who have the ability to do this whenever they want? Or is your catcher going to have the green light whenever he wants? Or is this going to be the type of thing where, hey, we'll only make a challenge if there's already a runner on base because we think
Scoring
we can
position,
produce a
maybe?
run or someone in scoring position or after a certain inning. I'll ask that question so we can get the answer from a major league manager.
Zaz with the 2-1.
Didn't you want to know how that? What were the kids doing?
Ball.
So going back to Amin's original point, it makes me nuts when these NBA coaches. Yes, it's one thing for the player to do the bullshit, okay? And by the way, I'm with you that if the player does it, it should automatically trigger the challenge. But if that happens, he's going to come up with another sign, like going like this means challenge. Like they're going to come up with another signal, all right? But anyway, why do these coaches challenge an out-of-bounds play 4 minutes into the first quarter? What are they stupid?
It's because you've got a player that you're just trying to. Yeah, it's politics. You're trying to get your main guy to be engaged in the game, and if this what it takes, it's just like people say, why do they post that dude up as the first play? He's terrible on the post.
You're talking about DeAndre Ayton, right?
I'm not naming names. I'm just saying you do that because you know that'll keep the guy engaged for the rest of the game.
Zaz and the pitch.
He took the buckle.
Yeah!
Building and creativity, you want to be what? Like, it seems like you've arrived at what would be a destination for any comic.
I think that it's I can simplify it, right? I can simplify it. I think what some people tend to make extremely complex and difficult, I do a good job of making those things easy, right? For me, I look at it from a perspective of we all have an option in our life to do as much as we possibly can, right? And you can take that option and max it out, or you can do the minimum, or you can, do, I guess, what can be deemed to be the mid-level of whatever, right? But there's things that are put around us that do nothing but give us the opportunity to succeed and grow. And it's how you use those tools around you to basically be a version of your best benefit. And my tools that I've been able to form and put myself around are people, right? I've been around some really great people that have achieved a lot of amazing things in their lives and their careers. And in doing that, it's motivating. It's inspiring.
But have you met many like you? The Rock you guys seem to have like a common space where you both understand. Yeah, we want everything. We want everything. You've met a lot of people like that?
I've met a lot of people like that. I'm an entrepreneur, right? So an entrepreneur, businessman, a mogul, whatever you want to define it as, there's people that have multiple layers. There's people that want to do a lot of things. There's people that do a lot of things. There's a lot of companies that have been developed to basically now act in a space because of their now ecosystem. They're able to do so much, right? Like the bandwidth of one thing is no longer just the one. It's, look at Amazon, look at Disney, look at these companies that have a multi-layered system, right? It's an amusement park, but then we do animation, and the animation has went into television, and now we are going out of this into experience, and experience, it's also an activation of experiential. Well, that's somebody that keeps compounding on one idea, right? Amazon, what was once one thing, well, now is Amazon Prime, Amazon Fresh Markets.
You are many things. You are tequilas. You are interview shows. You are documentaries.
Everything. But it comes from looking and being inspired by the people that are doing it at the highest level. So I'm trying my best to create an ecosystem. So Kevin Hart is not just the talent anymore. That's one layer, right? The talent got me in the door to be an investor. The investments got me in a place to build on opportunities that I thought that I would never have. I have a fast food plant-based restaurant. I have a tequila. I'm in the space of health and wellness. I have my my plant-based protein, to my vitamins, to my gummies. That's in Vita Hustle. Like, you have athleisure. That's in Fabletics. And men, like, these are all owned entities. These aren't like ambassador roles, right?
How many employees do you have in that ecosystem?
Right now, my ecosystem, I'm probably somewhere around like 220, maybe. Like, between, if I were to go through Heart House, Grand Cormino, Heartbeat Ventures, probably pushing around 220.
Because your life looks, from the outside, anybody would look at it and say, man, that seems fun. And some of what I see in your life, because I'm way outside it, obviously, is like, man, that seems like a lot of responsibility, a lot of pressure, a lot of people that he doesn't want to let down. And I don't know if his life is always fun. I don't know how he leads. It seems like he's got a lot on him.
Well, you have to have some type of passion for the thing that you're doing, right? Like, is it stressful? Does it become a lot of times? Of course, but that's a part of the journey. It's not going to be easy. It's not supposed to be easy. If it was, then everybody would do it. So I think the separation within the opportunity and individuals come from those that can take on the task. So delegating, organizing, building structure, all of that stuff, it comes from grasping the mindset that you can't be the one doing it all. You have to invest in people and trust in others to help you build. You need great minds around you. You need ideas. You need people that can flourish within the thing that you're building. That's the only way it gets bigger. So I'm a firm believer in giving my future world of stars the platform to be great. And by stars, I'm not talking about people in front of the camera. I'm talking about the people behind. I'm talking about my business minds that I'm sitting across the table from that really do understand my goal. Right? Those are the important pieces to my puzzle. That's what's helping me.
But what are the growths that you find most personally, emotionally rewarding? Like, whether they're for you, how you grow your career, or who you're helping. Like, what do you identify as the most moving forms of growth in this ecosystem as you continue to just branch out and really you're not just a comedian, you're a brand, and I am curious about what moves you there. It's not just laughter and it's not just money.
The biggest piece of inspiration that I find is the concept that I'm not supposed to be here. I'm not supposed to be able to do what I'm doing or the things that I've been able to obtain. I'm not supposed to be here. I come from North Philadelphia. I'm an inner city kid. From my culture, from my community, life is pretty it's pretty direct. You're supposed to be content with the space that you operate in and what you're given, and that's supposed to be life. And a lot of people step and repeat in that manner, right? There's a lot of broken households. There's not a lot of college. There's not a lot of understanding to the space and place for finance. That's why financial literacy is what it is and as big as it is in the culture, in the communities that I come from, right? So what's expected is a world of fail. So when you are an example that you don't have to do that, well, you become more important to the communities and more important to the culture because the younger generations to come are now identifying you with the reality attached to a dream. So I'm no longer like the hypothetical, right? I'm no longer the false space of thinking. Like, it's real. You can obtain, you can do what you put your mind to. And to be able to go back to those places and stand in the shoes that I now stand in, but still have the direct conversations of understanding. I mean, like, I can identify, right? I can understand why the struggle is what it is and why we're positioned
on YouTube and lock in on the alley-oop. Today, me and Juju discuss what did LeBron say about Jaylen Brown and what was that bucket hat he had on.
We also talk about my guy, NBA champion, Payne Pritchard, a.k.a. Big Caitlin Clark, and I give some way too early finals MVP predictions. Lock in.
Lock in. Seriously, go over there. Lock in.
Good time for me to mention as well, my friend Trista Crick is going to be on Zaslow Show 2.0 today. All right, if anybody wants to give that a whirl, all right, you can hear us talk a little bit of NBA.
What'd she say?
Find out. I'm going to let you get away with it because it was part of like promotion.
Now you
know,
get
with
it.
my show.
Promotioning.
Exactly.
It was a part of promotion. All right, so you're okay. I'll allow it.
Quick shout out, by the way, to Taché. Did anybody else observe that he's going Michael Douglas in Basic Instinct there? A sweater, a V-neck sweater with no T-shirt underneath.
Yeah, brother.
Bold.
Oh man,
What a
style.
What a movie, by the way. Okay, Jeremy, you've definitely never seen Basic Instinct, right?
I have not. But I will.
What a movie.
Yeah.
Hey, Football America, as long as we're talking about Le Batard universe-related shows, Football America is doing, because this is one of the worst sports weeks going, we're going to have Amin and Zaz. It's our movie show in advance of the Oscars.
I'm looking
We're
forward
to
to
do a Tarantino character draft and beyond.
Yesterday I got home. My older son stayed home from school yesterday because he wasn't feeling well. He caught whatever I had. And I was like, hey, you want to watch a movie? And he goes, yeah, sure. And so for the first time, I showed him Inglourious Bastards.
Wow, you're going to say
what a
Basic
movie.
Instinct.
Right?
What a movie.
What a movie. That was it's one of those deals. Quentin Tarantino's my favorite. And so it's one of those deals where I really need him to like it. I want him to like it, And of course, he did like it because it's a great movie.
It's a sick movie. Like, the movie's great.
It's a great movie.
A good sick movie.
Best scene of this millennium. This is a bold take to say about any scene. It's the best scene in any movie this century. The tavern scene, the cellar scene, that 20 minutes,
The Mexican standoff.
Yeah, yes, as Tony points out, yes, when the guy, the spy,
Big Laser.
the British spy holds up the wrong version of 3 and is caught by the Nazi.
That's a great scene.
Yes.
I'm wondering
if it's the best scene of that movie.
Yeah, because I'm thinking about the first scene where we see Christoph Waltz and he
Awesome.
comes
Great.
in and he does the whole thing
Au
in French,
revoir,
and he's
Shoshana.
like, "Hey, is it easy? It's just easier for me to do it in English." Like, I just love the exposition.
You're
of
hiding
why-
them under the floorboards, are you not?
Yep. But like that whole
You're
slot,
hiding
you guys have any
enemies of the
milk?
state.
Oh, the milk here is the best, and I've heard other. Oh my god, he like walks it down. So I remember being in that scene or watching that scene and being so entranced, like, oh my god, what's happening? And like he doesn't know. Oh, he does know. He does know. He's doing it to him on purpose. And then how he says, "Now I'm just gonna walk out of here, and we're just gonna pretend everything's okay. I'm gonna switch back to French. A bientôt, da, 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 da," and then and then Shoshana runs away to, "Au revoir, Shoshana!" Like that scene right there to me.
It's a great
powerful
scene. By the way, that French dairy farmer looks exactly like PGA or, I don't know, live golfer John Rahm. Identical. It's weird. It is a dynamite scene, but I'm going to stick with the tavern scene. I also just was caught by Zaz. I think this is a compliment to you. You just tried to do the Christoph Waltz, "Oh, Shoshana," and you did a horrible job at it, which means you can't portray a Nazi. That's great. That's
Thank you.
that
is a
ultimately
compliment.
Reflects well on you.
That is a compliment.
Do it again. Now. Do it.
Yeah, try
Give
again.
it one more line read.
All right, give me a second here. Get into character.
Be better at being a Nazi.
Au revoir, Shoshana.
That was better. Yeah,
Was I a better Nazi?
Yeah.
Question about that movie. All right, and my son asked me while we were watching it, when Hans Landa, Christoph Waltz's character, Shoshana has the meeting with Goebbels, and then Hans Landa shows up.
That's a great scene too.
And they have the strudel together. Wait for the creme. And my son turns to me and he says, "Does he know? Does he know it's her?" And it's pretty ambiguous. Does he know it's her?
As long as you understand that Shoshana, sitting in that chair, would be afraid that he might know, That's what you're supposed to experience through her eyes. Oh my God, this is the guy who killed my whole family, and I think he knows.
Because he's a great detective.
And he orders the
Right,
milk.
he seems
The
to know
milk to
everything.
me.
He orders
He
the
knows
milk and he's
everything.
like, "Glass of
Yeah.
cold
I
milk."
think she doesn't. I think he doesn't. But
Even
but
though he orders
you
the
know,
milk.
he is
loves
now.
milk.
The movie has mythologized his abilities so well up to that point that you understand from Shoshana's point of view that she has to be paranoid. He knows.
Dave's
doesn't he? He knows
absolutely
who I am.
right. It's more about the hey, if you're Shoshana, you absolutely think, oh, he knows. But he loves milk, man. Like, that wasn't like a bit that he was doing. He actually really likes French milk. So shout out to him. But
Compliments to your daughters and the cow.
yes.
It's such a good movie.
You know, but you ever heard about how they cast him? Because they were like, because Tarantino
he
wrote,
was like a nobody before
yeah,
that, right?
Tarantino wrote the character, and he was like, where are we going to find a dude who speaks German, French, and English, like, fluently?
Also
and,
Italian.
And also a good actor. Like, they were like, this guy doesn't exist. And then they found him, and it changed his life.
Couldn't have
really.
been Zaslow, as we just found out 3 minutes ago. Couldn't
Zaz-
pull off the German side of it.
Zaz could have been one of the Americans. Dominic DeCoco. You get
Golami. Golami. When you're 12 years old, Basic Instinct's a great movie, Dave.
Yeah, I think that's a sweet spot. I wouldn't
Like,
want
that
to,
was an event.
I wouldn't want to watch
watching
it with.
Basic Instinct at 12 years old for the
But
very
not
first
with your
time.
dad.
Not with
No,
your
no,
dad,
not with my
Zaz.
dad.
Come
It was
on.
with my friend. We were left home alone.
Oh,
they
boy.
have Basic Instinct. Like, all right, it's Basic Instinct viewing time, and we watched Basic Instinct, the two of us.
And you went wild. Has there ever been anyone now, 12-year-old Zaz saw Sharon Stone? Has there ever been someone who has rivaled her?
Like that scene, that excitement, because everybody knew that scene was coming. There has to be, if I think about it, there has to be something similar to that, right?
This reminds me, while you think of it, of me and my dad. The first time I remember as a kid watching something where he was uncomfortable, it was Sunday nights, Sopranos. Back in the day of like when I was like in high school, us watching that live on Sunday night, and he did not like the scenes when there was nudity. He didn't like the bada bing scenes with me.
Oh, it's just, see, it's funny. I would assume it's the other way. I would assume it was you
Oh, no,
who
I
was
loved it.
uncomfortable.
I loved it.
Is the erotic thriller dead? I feel like we don't get any more erotic thrillers. Like the 90s was a big decade for
Skinamax.
erotic thriller. Well, not Skinamax. Skinamax is a step too far. Erotic thrillers are like Basic Instinct, The Hand That Rocks the Cradle, like all those like weird. What's the one where
Fatal Attraction.
I will not be ignored. Yes, there you go. Fatal
Horny
Attraction.
Noir. Is
What's
what
the one
you're
with the
getting to?
pool scene? Come on, y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Wild
presumed
Things?
innocent.
Wild Things. See, Roy knew exactly what I was talking
Presumed innocent.
Presumed
I mean,
Innocent.
it-
I knew
it
someone
also
would
fits
know.
that.
These were all movies that were like, yeah, we're gonna have a lot of sexually charged scenes, and also someone's gonna die.
I'm
because
glad. I
someone's
think we're
crazy.
better off without them. I think Red Shoe Diaries. Like, I don't.
Oh,
Why do
yeah.
we need the element of the backstory of like that? There's some detective mystique to lead us into softcore pornography.
Here's the thing.
Unnecessary.
I don't like gratuitous sex scenes in movies that don't require just so let's know that there's a romantic connection. But I do miss a movie where the premise is there's a sexual connection and then there's a murder that happens.
Well, but it was but even worse though. It was a weird element that used to be included in comedies in the 80s and 90s, like Caddyshack. Why do there sex scenes? Their bosoms? What do we need those?
Bare breasts. We needed giant
Did we?
popos and
It
everything.
gets the numbies up.
Gotta have it.
Had to have it.
Jamie Lee Curtis in Trading Places.
Had to have it.
We needed
I
the
needed
bare
it.
bosoms.
Airplane.
Yep. The airplane. That was actually funny. They actually did it to great comedic effect, right? Like
Caddyshack needed the lovemaking scenes. By the way, that's an interesting subject, Greg Cody. I bring to you.
Our movie guy.
Has anybody in real life in the last 50 years referred to sex as making love? Or was that just propped up by movies and TV of the day? Remember, I find it jarring now when you watch a movie and they talk about let's make love.
Yeah, I don't think people say that in real life.
I don't think anyone has ever said that.
You've
in
never
real
said
life.
that?
If I were having a conversation in that vicinity with my parents and I was in my 20s, I might have said make love because I didn't want to say anything more vulgar.
I don't think a guy has ever said
In the 20s or you were in your 20s?
When I was in my 20s.
I say it often.
That is actually that. Really?
I have.
That's your
I
language.
mean, I got a lot of moves, Damashek.
He's a romantic.
I got a lot of moves, but one of them is
He's got a deep bag. He's got a deep bag.
I do the head nod. Hey, you want to make some love?
Oh, wow, okay.
It always comes with a head nod.
Gotta be tender about it.
I'm uncomfortable for you with your old man sitting here.
I like to approach politely with a tap on the shoulder and say, "Excuse me, if it's not too much of a bother, do you mind? Can we?
It's love-making time.
Can we? Might we make some love in the other room? Shall we adjourn?"
So your father was the one who was uncomfortable with the Sopranos scene.
He would like walk out sometimes.
Have you ever been uncomfortable watching something with your father?
Not offhand.
Because
No.
I remember, for me, I remember it very well. I was probably 14 maybe, and I was watching with my parents for the first time The Silence of the Lambs, which of course is a great movie, but then I'm 14 years old and Buffalo Bill takes off the robe and shows everyone his mangina. And I didn't even know what to do with myself. And I was so embarrassed sitting there next to my parents.
Couldn't eat any ham, that's for sure. That wasn't an option.
Is that the movie where it's like, I do me?
Yeah, that's it.
It puts
Yeah,
the
that's it.
lotion in the basket.
All that while
Or
that
it
song
gets
is
the
playing.
hose.
And everyone's done that, right? At one point or not.
So the 14-year-old Zaza
China.
looks around and is like, guys, my bad.
That was very upsetting for me.
I wish more movies had women's boobs in them.
Oh, misogynist Spain, you're back.
So last night in the NBA,
That's a sports show.
the Los Angeles Lakers.
Is it?
The Lakers lost at home to the Orlando Magic. This Laker team's not any good. You know, like they're maybe they could beat a Houston team in the first round.
No.
Probably not. No, but I feel the reason I say it is because I feel like that's the only team that they could potentially be matched up with where it's like maybe they could beat. This Laker team is first round and done. The roster is not good. And last night, you know, you get like the perfect fodder for all the TV shows, right? Where, I mean, you saw the end of this game against it was a wild finish, right?
Absolutely wild finish. There was, I mean, I don't know how far back you want to go. Do you just want to go that last possession?
It was like three possessions back and forth,
right? You get a big shot by the Lakers over here. You get Desmond Bane hits a three because the Lakers defense collapsed on Paolo Banchero. No one's playing backside over there. LeBron tries to close out, and that's when he really looks 40 years old when he has to close out. So Bane hits that three. Lakers come back. Great under out of bounds play to score right at the rim.
A dunk by LeBron.
Yes, the dunk by LeBron. Magic come back, and you get Paolo.
Magic played? The team.
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, the team. Yeah.
Paolo is one-on-one against DeAndre Ayton. He puts up the shot. Misses, but because Ayton is pulled out, no one's there to rebound. So the Orlando Magic grab the offensive rebound, lay it up. And then the Lakers call timeout. And they got
here's the moment.
Good time. There's like it's not like a 0.5 seconds. You got multiple seconds. They call the play. They get it to Luka. Luka takes one dribble and picks up his dribble. For what reason, I don't know.
Well, by the way, when he caught the pass, I mean, he was a good 8 feet behind the three-point line, but wide open. And it's a shot that he takes all the time.
Yes, but they had a lot of time. They had time for a screen to come up, get the screen set. The guys obviously trap him off the screen, the defenders. He picks up the dribble. I'm like, why won't you keep your dribble alive? LeBron is kind of like weird angle, try to carve out a passing lane to him, but after he gets the pass...
Well, Luka throws him a grenade.
Yeah, because he picked up his dribble. He has nothing. He's dead in the water. LeBron's his only outlet. He passes it to LeBron, but LeBron's got his back to the basket from the three-point line, so he's got to take this fadeaway three, and of course it misses because that's not a good shot. But it all goes back to why did Luka pick up the dribble?
Right.
Like, why didn't you either aggressively attack
He did get doubled.
Only after he passed up the wide open shot. And so let's hear it from Luka, all right? So here's Luka Doncic after the game on why he didn't take the shot.
I know I was open, but I just thought I was a little bit far. Tried to take one dribble closer. Probably should have picked up the ball. Just trying to attack.
Kind of weird though that he's saying he thought he was too far. He takes that shot all the time.
I don't blame him. Like it did look far, but my thing is once you know I'm putting it on the floor and a screen is coming, you know what the defense is going to do. We talked about this yesterday as a video coordinator. We break down in the games. What do these guys like to do? and they would know that the Magic like to double a good player when he's coming off a screen because they don't want to deal with this. Did you switch? Do I switch? Or any of that? They're just going to say, hey.
Do players actually know that in the moment?
Yes, because the A, we'll have talked about it in the film session before the game. B, we'll have talked about it on the bench right before we go out there. Hey, this is going to happen if this happens, et cetera, et cetera. And then we talk about great players like Luka Doncic or LeBron James. Those guys know just from muscle memory of how many times they played against different coaches, different teams. They just know, oh, they like to do this. So I know when this happens, I'm going to already have my plan B and my plan C ready. But the bigger question for me is that was a rare close loss for the Lakers. A rare close loss for the Lakers. Typically when they lose, they get blown the ever-living F out. To what degree, you might ask? I looked up the teams
Research.
In losses. The team with the biggest margin of loss is the Washington Wizards. We would expect that, one of the worst teams.
They're a bad team, Dave.
Almost 19 points per 100 possessions in their losses, minus, right? Number 2, the Lakers. Wow. Which is unheard of for a team.
So when they lose, they get killed.
They get killed.
It's like they stop playing, though, right?
Yeah.
In those losses, they're just like, whatever.
That checks out. I'm with Tony. Yeah, they understand that they're load managing in real time. Yeah, this one's done. Sit them down for the rest of the game.
Here's a curiosity. When you look at the other teams, right? Number 3, the Brooklyn Nets, horrible team. Number 4, the Sacramento Kings, the worst team in the league. Number 5, the Utah Jazz.
Yeah, why aren't there other good teams who are waving the white flag?
The next good team, and this is a stretch, is Milwaukee at 6. Then you go 7 is Chicago, bad. 8 is Portland, not good. 9 is Phoenix. They play hard, but
they're a decent team.
They're decent. Toronto would be the next
they're a good team.
Good team.
So why is that?
They get blown out. I think it's because they're not athletic. So once
it's not a good roster.
Once it starts to go downhill
it
for
snowballs,
them,
right?
And then the counterpoint of that is like not athletic, but surely they got great 3-point shooters. No, they're not good at that either. When you're not great at 3-point shooting and you're not athletic, things can get out of hand really quickly.
As a relative casual, I disagree with what Zaz has said now a couple of times, which is that it's not a good roster. I'm applying probably an outmoded standard. 10 years ago, though, the minimum standard to be a contender was most seasons that you had a big 3. They have a big 3, so what?
Yeah, it's not like that anymore.
I got it, but it doesn't really add up. Who's got what NBA teams out there would their trio of best players would you prefer to have over what the Lakers have?
I mean, let me just say this real quick, and then you could tell me if I'm right. It's more the league has gone in a direction over the last few years. It's really about having 2 really good players, and having a deep roster is much better than having 3 great players.
Well, I think there's also a kind of a misnomer there in the idea like, oh, all you need is 3 great players, and it doesn't matter who they are.
It didn't used to. You could cover all the other warts if you had the big 3.
It always mattered that the big 3 were complementary. That's the part. People just, give me 3, give me any 3. Like, no, it doesn't work that way. It's not just blindly give me 3. They have to fit in some way. So if you tell me big 3s of yore, I'll be like, yeah, he does this, and he does this. Versus for the Lakers, you got 3 guys. If we're going to call Austin Reeves a big 3, by the way. Which
big 2.5.
That's a big leap. But just I'm going to, for the purpose of the exercise, say yes, he is. What do they all do? Oh, they're really good at playmaking and shot making.
And none of the 3 play defense.
None of them can defend their position.
None of them rebound.
That's right.
So it's like, why are we saying, well, this will just erase everything? Basketball is a very simple sport that people like to overcomplicate. You have to have, doesn't matter who does it, there have to be certain things that are taken care of. We need someone who take care of rebounding. Or people to take care of rebounding. We need people to create plays. We need people to terminate plays. So these are finishers, whether at the rim or at whatever. We need people who are incredible shooters, just not even to actually shoot it, just to keep the defense honest. And we need individual.
If you can convince people to play 2-dimensional or 1-dimensional ball, I always think about Rick Fox as the personification of that. He wouldn't have been a rotational guy on bad teams, or maybe borderline. He wouldn't have been a starter.
No, he was a really good player in Boston. That was a bad team. When he came to the Lakers, he actually took the step down.
That's what I'm saying. When you're willing to accept that I am going to be in the starting 5, I'm just not going to be looked at as a scorer at any point of any game. If you're willing to accept that, that's what it seems like. That's the secret sauce.
But
right?
but it's a combination of willingness and ability. Some people are willing, they're just not able. So I remember when Russell Westbrook got to the Lakers, and they said, well, Russ is going to come off the bench. And I had no doubt that he was sincere in his desire, but it's like if you played basketball a certain way for 15 years on the professional level at that time, and 2 more years before that at the collegiate level, and then all of a sudden, today, we're like, and now you're going to do it completely differently. Like, that's not easy. That's not an easy transition unless you're dealing with something. That's why I go back to Tatum. I think it is going to be easy because he's got a built-in excuse that forces him. If he was just like, all right, I'm 100% healthy, what are we doing here? Maybe. But as a guy who's kind of compromised a little bit, it's like, yeah, I do need to take it slow. But when you look at the Lakers, I'm with Zaz. It is a flawed roster because, we talk about the one thing you can't do is be in between in terms of being bad or good or whatever. My thing is you can't be in between. Like, either we're super athletic, we can't shoot, but we're going to run up and down the court, we're going to lock everybody down, like Detroit is a great example of that, or we're kind of slow and unathletic, but, man, we are going to kill you basketball-wise with our shooting, with our IQ. And, like, the Lakers are neither. They got, like, some smart, good shooting players with high IQ. They've got some guys, but they don't have the overall athleticism to make up for the shortcomings, nor the shooting to make up for them.
So before we wrap up that part of the game, I do want to hear from LeBron after the game where, Luka gave up the shot. He made a mistake picking up his dribble. Like I said, LeBron was kind of handed a grenade there, had to shoot it because he caught the ball with like 2 seconds left. Here's LeBron after the game.
I'm not sure. I mean, obviously you have to ask Luka what he saw on that, but I thought he had a good look, and it looked like he kind of just lost his balance, didn't have a rhythm with the ball, whatever the case may be, and it kind of allowed him to get back in front of him. And I was kind of off balance when he gave it to me. I thought he had a great look, but that's what I look. That's my POV.
That's
love a POV.
POV.
I like POV too. Different kind of POV than he's talking about. But I like a
little search term.
Hey,
you know what I'm talking about.
He's got it in the lingo though.
Gonzo.
I do wonder how. So Luka's the man in Dallas for all of these years. He could do no wrong. He's their guy. They drafted him. He has spent his entire career there. He's their franchise player. Being in LA now is a little bit of a different story. Okay, number one, it's the Lakers. All right, it's one of the most prestigious franchises in all of professional sports, and he's not their guy. Like, they traded for him. They traded for him with expectation, major expectation, as opposed to someone who we draft and you're homegrown and we love you forever no matter what. Like, that's not the case. I do wonder how that could possibly affect Luka's mindset because he's never had to deal with that before. Like I said, in Dallas, no matter what, you are the guy. We love you no matter what. The Laker fan doesn't love LeBron no matter what.
Right.
He's not their guy. Like,
it is. I will say that is to push back a little bit as somebody who's there, and the transient nature of the population in Los Angeles is reflected in the Lakers. That's their whole MO. Kareem came from somewhere else. Shaq came from somewhere else. Will Chamberlain
but you got to win.
did. Right. Yeah, absolutely. But their model for success is bringing.
No, you got to win. And like I'm saying, even in Dallas, like Luka could have went his whole career never winning a championship, beloved no matter what in Dallas. If Luka spends the rest of his career in LA and they don't win, he's not going to be a beloved Laker.
Oh, of course not. Yeah.
He's a mercenary at that point. That he just got lucky, right? Like, look how long it took Dirk to get a championship, right? How old was Dirk?
But he'd have been beloved no matter what.
32.
He was. So it was 2011, and he got drafted in 1998. He was like 18 years old at that time. So like 14 years.
32, 33, wherever it was. Like, that could have been Luka's trajectory, and Dallas would have been okay with that, knowing at some point maybe the Cooper Flag thing happens if they don't trade Luka, right? Like, all of a sudden Luka's there. They get lucky enough to get the number 1 pick. Now it's Cooper and Luka, and all of a sudden you have this revolutionary thing at the position or at the team for Dallas. But it's like, now what is he going to do?
So I do wonder if the conversation in LA is going to begin to take a little bit of a different turn. And Grant, look, he's been there for a minute, all right? He was there for half of last season, and we're, halfway into this season. And I do wonder if the conversation in LA is going to shift a little bit, because give this a listen. This is from the Laker television broadcast last night, all right? This is the home broadcast. This is the Lakers broadcast here. Give this a listen. This is one of those plays where Luka doesn't score, doesn't get a foul. He's on the floor arguing with referees. Here it is.
Luka, little one hand. Again, he's complaining. Got to get back on defense. It's 5-on-4. Underneath. They're going to put it up and in. And one. And the foul.
That is a home broadcast. Tired of watching that.
Exasperated. It's happening again.
This is
5-on-4.
This is me talking to my kids. You better get that thing. If you don't clean up, you're not going to be able to have any dessert, and then I'm going to eat it all myself, and then you're going to be upset because I'm going to. That's how you do that to like a kid to let them know the consequences are coming.
Can we play the previous clip again? Like now that we all know what to listen for, like you're going to hear the exasperation in their voices. This is the Lakers television call. It's not the other team. It's the Lakers television call.
Luka, little one hand. Again, he's complaining. Got to get back on defense. It's 5-on-4. Underneath. They're going to put it up and in. And one. And the foul.
Yeah, that was a tone of voice that said, this defense has been bad. We've seen this before. We've seen this play before. We've lost like this before. Crazy.
All right.
Don't we want to wish our way around? I mean, basically what we're talking about here, this has all been an exercise to try and ignore reality, which is your big three, or however you want to couch it, Luka, your star, your primary, and your 1A is LeBron. Again, they can't defend their positions. LeBron used to obscure that with the Cavs, even before the Heat days. He would not just defend his position, he could defend pretty much any of the 5 spots on the floor. He also would rebound his position at a wild rate compared to his peer group. None of those 3 guys are doing anything on one side of the floor. That's what damns them forever, right?
Got to get back on defense.
All right, you can clean your room. I'm going to McDonald's. I'm walking to the door.
Underneath.
I'm opening the car door. I'm
But
starting the car.
Zaz, that's right? Like, I mean, isn't it accurate then? Like, this was a foolish proposition to begin with.
What was the foolish proposition?
Yes, you get Luka if Luka's available to you. You absolutely make that trade
every time.
I mean, but now him and LeBron and Austin Reeves. I mean, look, the idea that
honeymoon's
team
over is what it
would
is.
would win the title was never in play.
It was never in play
Right.
unless you live in the greater Los Angeles area, in which case, oh my God, we got a great player. Everything's going to happen to us. Everyone gives us everything because that's been the experience of Laker fans for their entire life. But the reality is, it was the moment when they brought in DeAndre Ayton, all of us in basketball were like, oh, good luck with that. And all the Laker fans were like, we got a former number 1 overall pick, and he averaged this, and this is how we got a big man now. But, like, that's the problem. The problem is it is not, the expectation is not commensurate on day one, let alone like, oh, somewhere along the lines, expectations got out of hand. Like, day one, you should have known it wasn't good enough, but they didn't know. That's why when Rich Paul said, if I were the Lakers, I'd trade Austin Reeves for Jaren Jackson Jr., everyone fainted, and I was like, that's a pretty good deal. Like, I mean, if I'm the Lakers, I would want that deal too.
But you're suggesting that management is playing to the fan base? That's what you just insinuated, which I don't think is the case.
I'm suggesting that building a championship caliber roster is a lot harder than just getting a great player.
I know, but you said everyone in Los Angeles as though what the fan base is pining for when they're not the experts making the personnel decisions.
Well, I don't think they. I guess let me be clear here. I'm not saying, oh, Rob Pelinka, you messed up. I think he's done the best with what was available to him at the time. Remember, they couldn't trade picks and all. They were really hamstrung up until this point. They're moving into next offseason a ton of cap space and at least 3 first-round picks to play with. They're building to a point where they can build around this. But, like, as far as going into this year, Tony, I don't know how much better they could have done.
No, absolutely not. But also, when you look at what they were trading, when you have somebody of Luka's caliber, like you trade for him no matter what, but you had just seen Luka drag a Dallas team that was not that good through the Western Conference into the NBA Finals, and I know there's
a lot of
it's
new
more
guys.
nuance. I know
a lot of new guys got there.
I know there's a lot more nuance to that, to that take. But when you get the guy, you figure he's good enough to drag you to a championship, even if you don't win, to at least drag you to a Western Conference Finals and to an NBA Finals.
The reality is, you get the guy, and then you say, "Well, figure it out." In the same way that Miami got Jimmy Butler, and everybody on this show is like, "Whoa, we got him." I'm like, you get when they got Jimmy Butler. when they got
I
Jimmy
wasn't on the
Butler,
show.
yeah.
I just realized.
And there was a lot of like, what? I'm like, what's the big deal? I'm like, first of all, he's a superstar. Second of all, this is the first step. You can't just say, well, I'll be awful until everything comes to me all at once. It doesn't work that way.
Got to get back on defense.
So
it's 5 on 4 underneath.
The narrative, I feel like it's heading in a little bit of a different direction right now for the first time with Luka on the Lakers. No, you don't agree with that?
No, look, let's be clear. The new direction is LeBron won't be here next year. Right. That's the direction, right? And
I just mean the conversation around Luka.
No, I mean, look, this is an example of, and this a lot of people are victims of this. When you, particularly if you work for a team, like in broadcasting, but even if you're a fan of a team, you just watch your team. You don't you watch other teams, and you're like, oh, he's really good. But it's like when I always say when you're in college, you be friends with somebody like, that's my boy, and they're like, we should be roommates. And then when your roommate's like, he clips his toenails on the bed and on the coffee table, and oh my God, he never does dishes. You start to notice all these idiosyncrasies that were never hidden. It's just you weren't around them all the time. Luka complaining to refs since day one. We talked about it yesterday on the show. He's always been this. But for them, it's like at first, like, I got Luka. Yes, Luka Doncic plays for us. Oh, my God. And we got him for nothing. He's amazing. Oh, my God. He had 50. Oh, my God. And it's like, he really is complaining to refs a lot. And then after like the 10th time or
he hasn't gone back on defense in a month.
It's like, oh, my God, stop doing it, because now this thing becomes very top of mind in a way it wasn't when you saw him 4 times a year.
Well, you're right. And now you have national, broadcasters, podcasts, what have you. Zach Lowe. Everybody knows Zach Lowe, right? Zach Lowe, formerly of ESPN. Is he with
The Ringer?
The Ringer now. Okay. And here is Zach Lowe apparently freaking out about Luka.
What do you say?
The whining is back at just peak / Nadir Dallas levels. It's every fucking play. Just play, man. Not everything is a foul. And it's almost like, are you playing to draw a foul? Or are you playing basketball? Like, which one are you doing? Are you playing one-on-one and like with the refs? Or are you playing a game? It's every single possession now. It's completely out of control. It's back to Dallas levels. It's just unwatchable.
So you hate playing with that guy that in pickup games or in a league or whatever is always trying to call the foul. And it's like, buddy, what are you doing?
The guy who calls offensive foul.
The guy that calls any foul whatsoever, just every single time down the court.
I wasn't a big, as you can tell by looking, not a big street ball guy, but I played some rec basketball. Dad, you remember those days? Yeah. I was a shooter. I could shoot a little bit, but if I went to the hole, I was just looking for contact. And I had so many missed layups where I was driving to the hole and like, oh, I'm going to get fouled. And then I just don't get fouled and I missed the layup.
You were just trying to draw fouls?
I'm not a finisher at the hoop.
Wait, Chris, I got to ask.
Charge.
Because that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the guy that like does what you did.
No, I never call fouls in pickup.
Right, like that.
But
that's
in pickup ball, because regularly you have a ref.
Yeah, we're talking about the guy that like, Tony, you know this. The guy will go up for a layup, he'll miss it, and then we're running back. And,
my ball.
Sometimes he doesn't even say anything. He just stands there. And we're like, okay, 5-4. Like, no, I call foul. What? Like the idea.
You waited for the ball to go out to call foul? Give me a break.
But also the assumption that like everybody knows it was a foul. I don't even have.
Is that you, Dick Damashek?
No. That's the second worst guy to play pickup ball with. The guy who every time he goes up with it. My experience is not so much you're running back the other way. It's the guy who, while the ball is still in the air, got it. So, got it. But, whether it goes in or not, it's already a foul established. The worst guy remains, though. The guy who's a little bit older than everybody else there, who pulls his socks all the way up high and defends you 32 feet from the rim. Like, will you get out of my face? What do you think I'm going to do? I'm not going to do it.
That guy's turning back the clock.
Get away from me.
The second worst guy is not that guy. The second worst guy is a guy I like to call basketball martyr, which is clearly got mauled on the play. And then we're like, all right, hey, man, that's a foul. He's like, no, he ain't fouled me. I'm like, I didn't call foul. Dude, what are you proving?
I mean, now you want both sides. You're complaining about the guy that calls all fouls and the guy that
Yes, exactly.
Because you'd rather have the guy that doesn't call any fouls.
I'm complaining about the North Pole and I'm complaining about the Sahara? Wow. Oh, it sounds like a complaint about the weather all the time.
That guy also does it at the worst possible time. It's 10-9, game 11. You get killed. We're at game point. No foul. What do you mean no foul?
You guys are talking out of both sides.
Then they go back and hit a 3 and the game's over. I got to wait 6 games. Give me a break.
One of the worst guys is the my bad guy. because the my bad guy never my bads on something that's ambiguous. It's always like, hey, we're playing 3-on-3, and 2 of the 3 foes are defending you, again, 28 feet from the rim, and for some reason, you decide to Luke it and jack it up from there instead of passing it to me under the rim, and you airball it. My bad, guys. Yeah, it wasn't in doubt whose bad it was. You jackass, we all knew. My bad. Wait, you want some credit? You're a great guy. You're being a good fella to everybody. Like, I just want everybody here to know this is officially my bad. Yeah, we already made that decision.
Okay, I have a solution for all your problems. Challenge system and instant replay and pickup basketball.
Now you're talking.
Now you want replay.
You set up a phone
That's
right
all
there
you
at the
need.
edge of the court,
Yes.
and then you record everything. Hold on, let's go.
Wouldn't it be amazing if
Do the
there was
tornado
a
signal.
rec park wherever you lived where that specific park has the challenge system?
No, it wouldn't. Every game would last 17 hours.
Exactly.
It's already
Why
bad
are you
enough.
longing for this?
You know what?
You don't
Because
want it in MLB, but you want it here.
That's my point.
We have a challenge system in basketball. It's called shoot for it. Yeah. The ball will tell us.
Ball don't lie.
Defense shoots.
That's interesting. Yeah, see, Greg Cody, what the fear-mongering that you're doing is because of people like Luka. If it were left to Luka to decide, I have been violated here, then the game would take 17 hours.
Yeah.
You're right. Well, that's why the players cannot be the ones turning to the officials. I wish to challenge that, because if you were letting Luka unlimitedly challenge things, the game would take 7 days to play.
Another terrible guy in pickup, the tunnel vision guy. The guy who's just putting his head down, driving to the hoop, and it's like, buddy, there's 9 guys
That's
in the
me.
lane. How about you kick out and actually play basketball? And it's like, no, man, I had the layup. And it's like, you blew
If
the
I
layup
decide
3
I'm going to the hoop, I'm going.
But that means you're a bad player.
I know.
What about the guy that thinks he's a great point guard? Like you're playing in a game, and so he's just
thinks
running
he's a
around
professor?
trying to do no look passes or behind the back because he thinks that he knows how to run an offense and he's playing with you for the very first time, but it's just constant turnovers.
Just play basketball.
Hard foul guy, too. We don't need you. If you want a hard foul, stay home.
Prison rules guy. That's
Prison rules guy. Fast break. Going to find me on a fast break to try and pin the ball. It's like
worse, undercutting you on the press break.
Exactly right.
That's prison
Gonna
rules
kill
guy.
somebody out here.
Hey, if it doesn't draw blood, it's not a foul. Like, I didn't show up here for that. I'm not looking for any blood to be drawn.
What are you showing up there for?
Collegial vibes.
I miss pickup basketball.
You know, I was looking up Michael Douglas because you guys said I reminded you of him with the V-neck sweater, but it's not the only thing about Michael Douglas that's similar to me. Just me.
Coxman?
Oh, that's awesome. DraftKings Sportsbook puts you right in the middle of basketball's biggest star-driven moments. Bet player props, bet live, and when the game turns fast, DraftKings has your back with early exit. If your player gets injured anytime in the first half, your bet stays alive. And once it settles, you still get paid in quiche. That's how I say cash. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code DAN. New customers bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's code DAN in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours.